Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday Night Fistivities. KB with you. Karyn Bryant here. It is a Tuesday. We're back on Tuesdays. The other day, Renato and I did a bonus Friday episode because he was, Renato does some things every now and then. I'm not exactly sure what he was doing, but he was not available last Tuesday. He is available tonight, so we have him. But tonight we have Shane Burgos on with us. This is going to be so fun. So Shane is fighting at the UFC Long Island show. He's fighting Charles Jourdain. He, is coming off a win over Billy Q. A lot of stuff about Shane is, he was working with Josh Emmett. Josh just had that fight with Calvin Cater. So there's a lot to talk to Shane about. Just his whole story. Like he's been in some incredible fights. I don't know if you guys know. I mean, I think you're starting to understand that a lot of the people that we invite on this show have to have a certain badass quotient to be on there. So Shane definitely qualifies. And then also, I'm not going to lie, there's a part of us that's a little curious. We're like, does Shane go in the light-skinned Hall of Fame for festivities? Does Shane go into the honorary Puerto Rican? We don't know. There's a lot of questions that we have for Shane. And we're going to get to those. So we're going to figure those out. There's a lot to get to. We will, in fact, I have a hit list. Couple of things, though. I just realized usually I have my balcony door open. And today I was like, let me close it because it gets noisy. But now I'm really hot. So I'm going to have to ask my production assistant, AKA the kid. Hey, kid, can you open the balcony door for me, please? She'll open the balcony. Okay, so we'll cool down. So here's what's on the way. Let me show you everything that is coming on festivities. But yes, I'm glad, first and foremost, that Brandon, that you will be at UFC Long Island and watch Shane throw down. Because this is going to be great. This is going to be great. So okay, so listen, thank you, kiddo. Just you can open them. It's a little hot for me here. So let me show you guys what is on the show for tonight. I have got our hit list for tonight. And this is what is upcoming. So we are going to talk to UFC Long Island's Shane Burgos. Thank you very much, kid. We will recap UFC 276, get your reactions on that, talk about some of that. We got some footage from the fights on there. I know a lot of time these shows get hyped in. It's going to be the greatest event in the world. Some of it was okay. Some of it was all right. Hey, listen. So Chidi's Choice, our bearded dragon mascot lizard, Chidi's Choice, he is going to choose between Rafael dos Anjos and Rafael Fiziev. And I just want to let people know we've revamped the way we do Chidi's Choice because the way we were doing it, Chidi went 0 for 3. But we figured out that Chidi chooses losers or not winners. Nobody's a loser in the fight game, but Chidi chooses not winners. So Chidi will tell you who is not going to win the main event this coming weekend. We're going to talk about our favorite movie set in the Bronx because Shane is fighting out in New York. And as I was joking that we don't really know what his background is, and we're going to maybe make one up or we'll figure it out. But we ended up, Renato and I were getting ready for the show. We were talking about the Bronx. And so we wanted to talk about movies set in the Bronx, set in New York and that kind of thing. So we will get to that as well. And then also we have our results from the festivities nickname showdown. We had the semifinals. We are now moving on to the finals. So we will let you know which two names have made it into the finals of the showdown. It's very exciting. It's huge. And I feel like if we could go back in time and look at the names that we were at the very beginning going, these are probably going to be the ones in the finale. It'd be cool if we could figure out, okay. So here, let's talk about him before he, so Brandon QFG is saying Shane is Puerto Rican for sure. All right, we will see. Okay. Oh, wait, Cesare Feda, you're going to watch The Terminal tonight. Okay. I haven't started on that one. Here's the thing. We will get to some things. We will, no spoilers here ever, but I finished Stranger Things the other day too. And I know Hanato's a big fan of that. So we will get to the Stranger Things as well. Probably. But yeah, for somebody who asked, why am I not in New York, Ray? I know I'm bummed. I love New York. You guys know I love New York. I lived there for 7 years. I love it. I'm on the show this weekend. I'm heading out to Vegas this week. I'm not on Long Island. And then I'm going to London though. So, as much as I do love New York, I'm excited to go back to London. So listen, your girl KB would work any and every event if they tell her or ask her, she's going to say yes. So that's just how it goes. Okay. Oh, Tim Klingbeil is saying that Shane is a light-skinned black man. Well, I tell you what, folks. It turns out, because you guys all know at this point that Renato is on Brazilian time. Shane is not. So we've determined that Shane Burgos is probably not Brazilian. Let me add him to the show right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Burgos.
How's it going? Thanks for having me. How you doing?
It's good. How you doing?
I'm good. It's a little bit late over here. It's 10 o'clock over here. It's way past my bedtime. Stayed up for you guys.
I know. I'm so sorry. And I won't keep you very long. And we will have Renato will get here. When he gets here, he's on Brazilian time. And I know, though, that you do have a very important fight coming up. And that is the thing with festivities, Shane. I'm not going to lie. It's hard with some of our East Coast friends.
Yeah.
But where are you right now? You are based in New York? Yeah.
Yeah, I live in New York. I live about an hour and 20 minutes away from where the fight's actually going to be.
Okay. So because I used to live in Manhattan. I lived right in the city.
Okay.
But if you live an hour and a half from New York, like, are you on the upstate side of New York?
Yeah. Upstate side. It's called upstate, but it's not even like somebody that's really from upstate. They'll be like, you're not from upstate. You only live an hour from the city. So yeah, New York is a lot bigger than people realize. It's fucking huge. It's a massive state. You got like the hillbillies that live in New York too. So it's a pretty big state.
No, you're right. It's funny because my grandma used to live in Wappinger Falls, New York, which I don't know where that is or whatever. I would
30 minutes
near. It's 20 minutes, really?
30, yeah.
Okay, I just remember as a kid going there, and it was one of those random sounding places, when you're like, what, whatever. But but you're right, it was in New York, and you always think of New York being the city.
Yeah.
You don't always think of the other parts of New York.
Yeah, I'm never in the city. I'm in the city. The last time I was in the city was for my fight, and the time before that was for my other MSG fight. Like, the only time I've been in the city is for my MSG fights. Like, never really in the city at all.
Oh, all right. Well, we will get into this, Shane, because I actually loved Manhattan. I love living there. This man, I don't know if he's allowed back in. He may have been run out. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome in now the 27-time World Jiu-Jitsu champion, Renato Laranja. Hi.
Yo. What's up, bro? You're frozen.
Eddie, well, we got you right on, and you freeze immediately, Renato. Your Cricket Wireless. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You might need to get out and get back in, Renato. This is a little bit okay. Well, first and foremost, let's just get to some of these people. P. Brown saying big up Shane.
What's up, man?
Here we go. Ray Torres saying Astoria in the house.
Queens.
But here's the thing. Okay. Oh no, okay. So Brandon, yes, Renato with the favela Wi-Fi. We will get it fixed. He did figure out one time that it was like a thing about his he just had to screw the thing in correctly or whatever. Like he'll be back. Okay, but regardless of the New York thing, it is crazy that you don't spend that much time in the city. We personally love it. Like, are you not a city guy in general, or?
I grew up in the city. I lived in the Bronx, which is only like a train ride away from Manhattan. So I lived there up until 6th grade, and then I moved up here, and I was still going back and forth there, just with my mom working there. My parents both worked there. My grandparents still lived at the time. I had family over there, so I'd always go back and forth. But then once all my family moved up here, my parents were done working. I was like, I'm good. Yeah. It's not a fun drive, especially with the traffic and everything like that. I'm like, it's not fun growing up.
No, I totally hear you on that one. Yeah. And in fact, we know about the Bronx stuff, so we're going to get to some Bronx movies later on. In fact, do you have a favorite movie? Maybe we'll get to it later, after you're gone. Like I said, I know it's late for you, but do you have favorite movies that are based in New York or set in the Bronx?
Based in New York, off the top of my head, I can't think, but the first movie that comes to my head with the Bronx is Rumble in the Bronx with Jackie Chan.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the first one that comes to mind.
That's a good one.
Yeah, a classic for the like. I remember on the corners, so the guys were selling the bootleg VHS tapes. They always had a Rumble in the Bronx on, always.
Absolutely. Well, that is on our list, 100%. And listen, while I want to see if there's any question. Well, I just want to say a lot of people right now, Mustache Dad saying, "Let's get it, Shane." Yep. Listen. Brandon, The Warriors is the best New York movie, and we will get to that because The Warriors, The Warriors
is one. That one too. Yep, I didn't know if that is exactly in the Bronx, but yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing because it takes place all over the boroughs. But aren't they trying to get back to the Bronx?
I don't remember, honestly. I knew that it was at least in the Bronx at one point in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so listen, let's talk about the fight that you do have coming up. Obviously, it is next weekend. You're fighting Charles Jourdain, and I'm curious what you make of just the matchup in general. I think I remember working the first fight he came in on, and he was like a replacement for somebody, and a lot of people didn't know about him, but he has a very strong kickboxing background, and I'm curious what you make of the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, it's a phenomenal matchup. You get two strikers going at it, and he's not going to be one to go for the takedown in this fight. I'm not really known for doing that either, even though I have that in my arsenal. If you watch my fights before the UFC, I think I'm the more well-rounded fighter, but I think it's on paper, it's just it really is a great matchup.
Yeah, I know. I think it's a great matchup as well. And listen, we'll try to get his opinion on it as well. We'll try to welcome in the 27-time Jiu-Jitsu champion again. Hi, is the cricket working?
I don't know. You're beating that joke like a dead fucking coach in the Bronx.
Hi, Renato. You're here now.
I'm here. I've been here. It's
up,
you
brother?
guys. So it's good to see you, my brother.
Yeah, man. You too. Been a big fan for years.
Oh, caralho. I don't blame you. I would be too if I wasn't me, caralho.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I have to, right off the bat, I have to admit something, okay? I'm guilty of doing the same thing to you that the people in New York did to me the whole time I was there, which is I assumed you was a Puerto Rican.
I am.
You are?
Yes.
How come when oh, thank God. Okay,
Yes.
So here's the problem. I was gonna play that. I thought you was Puerto Rican, okay? Then I was putting that song to the promo, that I put for the
Baila,
episode.
baila, or something, right?
Yeah,
and then I thought to myself, what if this fucking guy's like Dominican or something?
No.
Let me just make sure, because people get touchy about that shit. And
Yeah,
then I'm looking you up, and I can't find, like, even in the Wikipedia, don't say like exact. And then I'm like, Shane Burgos ethnicity, and then you go African American, and I go, oh God, are you? Okay, but trust me, it's out there. And
that's
so I
funny.
didn't
I
find
never
one
heard
thing.
of that.
I didn't find one thing that said Puerto Rican. So
That's
I said,
crazy.
God, are you? This guy is fucking mixed, black and white.
No.
Oh, okay. So
No,
my dad.
My dad is 100% Puerto Rican, and my mom is a bunch of European stuff, shit ton of stuff.
So you mixed.
Yeah.
So the name Burgos, that's
Yeah.
mean like two Vargos. They say like Burgos.
Burgos, yes, yeah. It's a Puerto Rican name.
It
Spanish
means
for Puerto
Virgo?
Rican. No, it doesn't mean. I don't know what the fuck it means.
You remember Walter Mercado, where he drew. So there used to be a guy. All the guys, your mom knows about this, or your dad definitely know about this. They had a guy. He's looked like a Latino. Whoa. Oh, caray. He looked like a Latino Liberace. Okay, he had long hair and be jeweled and stuff, and he'd do you horoscope and stuff.
Oh yes,
and he look at you and go, entonces,
yes.
Virgo.
Yes.
Tú eres muy, like
I know
he do
exactly what you're talking about. He had a
Walter
Netflix special
Mercado.
about him.
Yeah, he was bugged out for her.
I do remember that.
Well, let's get to the bottom. It's funny because as Renato was saying, Shane, like the three of us are like this. And I used to get the same thing when I lived in Manhattan. Everyone's like, yo, you Dominican. Are you this or that? Are you Puerto Rican? I'm like, no, listen, I swear to you, I'm half Jamaican. I'm black and white. Like that's what I am. They're like, no, baby girl, you Dominican.
I could see
and it's one of those things, where you get like annoyed that everybody tries to label you. But now we're getting to the bottom, because I said, Renato, before you got here, I said, I don't know if we put Shane in the light-skinned wing of festivities. Does he go in the honorary Puerto Rican? Does he go in the Brazil? I didn't know where to put him.
Now you know.
I was so fucking confused, my brother. I was up I didn't sleep a wink because of this guy.
Damn, I'm sorry. This is my dad's fault, I guess. That was my fault. I should have repped it harder. But you know what? This is actually going to be the first fight that I'm going to be wearing the Puerto Rican flag colors on my shorts, actually.
Vaya, papa.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Why is that? Why is this the first time?
I just never. I always assumed I didn't know that there was their own separate color for Puerto Rico, but you can actually rep Puerto Rico now with the fight kits. Back for Reebok, you couldn't do that. So I said, yeah, I want red shorts, and if I rep Puerto Rico, can I get red shorts? And they're like, yeah, for sure. I was like, All right, couldn't do that before, but I'll take it.
Hey, it's the same colors as America anyway, and it's kind
it's
of
the same country.
yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's
America.
just that you can't vote. You can't vote, porra.
Yeah.
Mira, they don't let you vote, Papa. You could stay here, but you can't vote.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me, but I've only been there once, so I don't know the fucking policies and shit like that.
Oh, really?
Me neither, porra. But if you live in New York or the Bronx, there's more Puerto Ricans in the Bronx than in fucking Puerto Rico.
Froze.
I froze?
Yeah, it probably is. That's probably.
No,
you guys are good now. You're good.
You're good.
Oh,
You're
okay.
good. You're good.
I said,
well, so listen.
There's more Puerto Rican in the fucking Bronx than there is in Puerto Rico, porra.
100%. There really is.
Totally.
There really is.
Totally.
There's so many Puerto Rican. I have family in the Bronx. You know where it's Burnside?
No, Burnside.
Burnside. Yeah.
Burnside.
It's like
Burn.
Tremont Ave or Tremont Ave.
Tremont.
It's an unsavory neighborhood. At least it used to be back then. Caralho. You had to watch your P's and Q's.
Oh, same. I grew up in the projects, the Monroe projects. It was not yeah.
Oh, so you know
the hood, man. Yeah, I was in the hood. So, yeah.
Was it more Puerto Ricans or Dominican? Because the area where my brother and my aunt was is Dominicans, porra.
No, it's mostly Puerto Ricans, I'd say.
Puerto
Ricans.
Yeah.
Is that how you learn to fight? What are the origins, right? We always need to get the fighter origin story. So is it one of those things where you were scrapping in the projects and learned you were good at it, or what?
Not at all. That would be a way cooler story than what it is. Because I never got in a street fight ever to this day. I've never been in a street fight. Never.
Me neither, Shane. Me neither, Shane. So we're cool. We're cool.
Never been in a street fight.
I don't understand.
I don't know.
You never even got jumped?
No, never even close getting jumped. No. Nope.
That is surprising.
Was everybody afraid of your dad or some shit? Or?
Well, my grandpa had a little bit of a mystique about him, and he was known for having a gun. So everybody knew that don't fuck with Shane because his grandpa's a crazy motherfucker. So my dad was
never the train, the bus. You never had nobody.
Never. No, my grandma got robbed before and mugged a couple times, but me personally, never. Nothing's ever happened to me, and thankfully, nothing's ever happened to my mom. My mom worked in the city for 30, 40 years, something like that. So nothing's ever happened to her, thankfully. My dad, he's got some crazy stories. You could probably put him on this podcast. He'll tell you way crazier shit than I can tell you from living in the Bronx. I moved out there
Wait a second. What era did you grow up in the Bronx?
The 90s.
But, okay, how old was you? Like,
so
when were you in, like, high school?
I was in high school. I lived up here back in, it's a way better neighborhood, Monroe, New York.
Monroe.
Because I'm trying to think, because I think you're trying to do the math, right, Renato? Like when Giuliani got there, when things got when they really cracked down on things, it got hardcore.
Yeah.
They quote unquote cleaned up a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, because when I was out there in the fucking 90s, oh my God. I mean, shit used to happen all the fucking time. Every time I went to see my brother, there was something like a dude was getting stabbed outside the window. And then my brother, I mean, it worked, but he was like, my brother's out the window. He's like, hey, hey. And then the guy stopped, hand away. But I mean, it was shit like that. Like you just had to, there was always somebody, people shooting guns.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was always some fucking something. And talk about people trying to rob you. It was almost like, I don't know how many, he always lived in a worse place than me, but he got robbed so many times I lost count. I can't even imagine people not getting fucked with out there. I don't know. It's a mystery.
Thankfully, I don't know. Knock on wood. Thankfully, I haven't had to deal with any of that shit. And that shit's in the past. I don't have to worry about that anymore. I remember when I moved out. When I moved out of there, we were moving out. I was like, oh shit. I'm a little older now. I'm 12 years old, and I'm like, oh, this is a bad neighborhood. Oh, okay. You know, when you grow up in it. Yeah. When you grow up in it, it's just I'm just used to it. It would just was what it was. I mean, you'd see fucking heroin needles on the ground and dime bags and just a bunch of junk, and you just walk by. I'm used to it. I see it every fucking day. And then when I get a little bit older, I start realizing what the fuck I'm seeing. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. When you see how other people live, you realize that shit's not normal. But you know what? I used to think that's the big city, like, I'm from the city, so that's what happens in the city.
It doesn't make it okay.
Yeah, but you just think like other people is maybe soft or they living in a fairy tale, like, oh, it must be nice. You live in you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, of course. Yeah. My aunt moved up to where I live now, and we would come visit on the weekends, and I'd be like, shit, this is nice. This is like country. This is country living in a house. And I was like, we have a backyard and a pool. So this is like, oh my God, we made it. And then I go back home and I'm in the Bronx. I'm like, oh fuck, man, this pissing the elevators and shit. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the pissy elevators. And you know what? You know what I figured out? I figured this out after years and years. There's a smell that's in New York that's in the project, and it's also in like old tenement building, low income housing tenement building that's old. There's a certain smell, and I didn't realize it till I had a male cat in LA. Okay, it's cat piss.
Yeah.
You know how many? It's a
I don't know
smell. Yeah, it's male cat piss.
They must be pissing like cats because the elevators, the way they smell, it
that's
smell
true.
Like piss.
That's true.
Like
you know how there's always fucking in New York, there's cats hunting around like wild. It like at the bodega, like Mr. Rivera. Why the cat sleeping on the bread for, huh?
Yeah, it's extra flavor, bro. That's how you know.
Yeah, caralho. So I noticed. I was like, oh, that's that smell. I smelled it. I go, it brought me back to like the project and the the broken elevators and stuff like that.
It's so true. It's so true. If you didn't get in fights, in the project, if you didn't get in fights in the urine stained elevators, when did you learn to fight? What was the impetus? What got you into the fight game? And
wait, he didn't say he was impetus.
Impetus is it. It's a word that means the catalyst to you
something
starting
else.
to do something. Yeah. So what was it that was it one of those things where you needed an after school activity, you went to do it, found out you had a natural affinity for it or whatever? Like, what's your origin story for becoming a martial artist, basically?
I basically just saw the UFC on TV on one of the UFC Unleashed episodes, saw Matt Hughes slam Carlos Newton and knock him out. And I was like, fuck. And he knocked him out with the triangle slam. And I was like, and then he won a belt. And I was like, what is this? You could just win he just slammed him on his head. And I was like, all right, it was UFC Unleashed. So I just kept watching the rest of the episode. And then it was a marathon on Spike TV back then. And then it was leading up to the Ultimate Fighter 2 premiere, and literally binge watched that entire day. And then the Ultimate Fighter 2 started. So I'm a huge Rashad Evans fan, huge Keith Jardine fan. And then I was addicted from that night on. I'll never forget that. And then I found a local gym over here that offered kickboxing and grappling. It was a Tiger Showman's gym. And I was like, oh, the Tiger Showman's is like karate. I didn't know they did like jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. I was like, my friends were like, let's just go try it. It's a month trial for $100. Let's just go try it. I was like, yeah, let's go try it. Try it my first day of grappling. I was just like, oh man, this is a different level of fun. I was like choking my friends out and like giving high fives and shit. I was like, this is fucking fun. And I didn't miss one day. They had classes 6 days a week for that month, and I didn't miss not one day. It was like a love at first sight and love at first step on the mat.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember when Tiger Showman used to be just a karate place.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
they had commercials for it and stuff, and it was
when they used to do a commercial, every fucking time you listen to Howard Stern back in the day, he would go Tiger Showman.
That was before my time.
Wasn't Uriah Hall a Tiger Showman guy too?
Yeah,
he was. Yeah,
it was either the Tiger Showman Snapple or Hanch One chicken sandwich for him.
That sounds good right now, man.
Okay, right. Yeah. Well, Renato, before you got here, we were talking about his matchup with Charles Jourdain, and it is a fun thing. It's a striker matchup. And I mean, here's the thing, Shane, I guess that's what, and I was saying this, Renato, before you got here as well, that, I feel like there's a certain threshold our invited guests need to pass or reach. And that is of a certain badassness and of a certain, casca grossa, a vibe hajada, like a, like we always know, like nobody ever goes like, Shane Burgos fight, like, take it or leave it. Like you go, like Shane Burgos.
I noticed that, like, because I always end up saying, man, you fucking go for it. But it sounds like I'm just saying that to everybody, but we seem to have the toughest fucking guys on it. You know what I'm saying? Like the greedy. You know what I'm saying?
I'll take that.
Yeah,
I take a lot of pride in my fighting style. I didn't really I didn't put much thought into fighting the way that I fight, and I'm saying I wasn't like, I'm gonna be that guy. it just turned out that I am that guy. Like, and I do think that I am an exciting fighter. I don't like to watch my fights back because I critique myself too much. But after the one time watching it back, I'm like, all right, I can see why people thought that was a good fight. So, yeah, I do take a lot of pride in people enjoying the way I fight.
It's hard to watch yourself, huh? I mean, just especially in that kind of shit, like even just grappling, the way you feel doing certain shit looks so fucking smooth in your mind. And then when you see it, you're like, I mean, it's working, but I don't look as fucking. I don't look as graceful as I feel like I am when I'm doing that shit.
100%. I hate like watching that.
Nosferatu, you know what I mean? Like, oh God, are you? But when I'm doing it, I feel like I'm like a swan, you know, like I move
graceful.
Bahishnikov.
Yeah, and then sometimes it won't even be bad. Like I'm just super anal about myself. Like I'm like, oh man, you could have did that better. Like you do it better on the bag, you do it better on the pads. Why did you do so shitty there? And everyone's like, what are you talking about? It looked great. I'm like, could have been better.
Yeah, and then even to add insult to injury, you see a shot of yourself from the side, and you go, oh, porra, I don't look like that, porra. You know, because we're always looking in the mirror at the front. You think that's who you are.
Right.
That's not me. That's not hitting me, porra.
When I grab the mic and I talk in the mic, and I'm just like, oh man, my voice sounds like that, right?
Dude,
like,
okay,
my voice sounds like that.
You guys, do you know that there's a reason for that?
It's some shit, right? Some scientific shit.
I'll tell you what's the reason. Okay, I found this out. The reason why, you know, everybody think that their voice when they hear it sound almost like, for guys especially, it sounds like a bitch. You know, like you're like, hi, you know, you don't sound tough and manly, because when you're hearing it in your head, it's vibrating through you, big melon, okay, and it have bass from that.
It's more low, exactly.
You're hearing it through like these bass speakers, but everybody else is hearing it like. You know what I mean? Like, they're hearing it like with just treble.
It sounds like, a lot better in my head. Yeah, I'm like, fuck.
If it's any consolation, I hate watching myself. I don't like watching my show. Like, I hate it. Yeah, I criticize my voice. I criticize my I criticize everything.
Yes.
Wait, what was the last? You criticize your voice. You criticize and what?
Everything.
No, but you said your legs or something like that.
No, I didn't say that. Anyway.
Well, you cut your thighs, porra.
No. Today, Renato, I was in my gym and I was like, oh no. And I wore the booty shorts and there was somebody else in the gym. And I was like, I don't like when there's anybody else there. When I'm jumping rope and it makes sounds and it doesn't.
Oh, start clapping like that?
Yeah, it's bad.
That's how I keep chiming like that. I hear that one, I go.
It's bad. It's bad. It's bad because they were clapping. It was bad. But Shane, okay, so here's the thing. So maybe you don't want to watch your fights over, but you do recognize that you are a Casca Grossa, right? Like every time, like all you do is bring the paint. Like you're one of those guys that always brings the scrap. So do you have a fight though in your own UFC, career that you're like, yeah, that's my favorite fight, or that's the one I feel the best at, win or lose, where you felt like you showed the world who Shane Burgos is?
I mean, the Emmett fight was probably one of the most fun fights I've had. Me and Emmett, we had a great fight. I was a fight of the year contender. One of my most satisfying fight was probably with the first time we went to Long Island. I fought Pepe, got Alfredo Pepe, in Long Island, and he had a bunch of fucking like highlight reel finishes, flying knees, jump triangles, and I remember watching him on the Ultimate Fighter Brazil when I was like 19 years old, being like, fuck, this guy's pretty fucking good. And then I get the call to fight him, and I was only 2-0 in the UFC at the time. And I remember I told my middle brother, and I was like, oh, I'm fighting Pepe. He's like, he's dangerous. And I was like, bro, you don't tell me that. I was like, I know he is, but you got to hype me up. I was like, motherfucker. I was like,
yeah.
And then
you don't want to hear that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I know he's dangerous already, but so am I. You're supposed to tell me I'm dangerous.
Right. I'm the man. Right.
Yeah, he was just nervous because he's like, fuck that. I was watching that. He was like 15 when he was watching that kid. So that guy. So
he's
like,
jealous from you.
He probably is.
But what's his name?
Jake. My brother's Jake.
Oh God, you're Jake. Jake the Snake, porra.
Yeah, that's what they call him too.
But that guy that one.
That was a fun fight for me because I remember he got in my face at the weigh-ins and he was like grilling me all fight week, and then I got to beat him up, and that was a satisfying fight. And it was in Long Island. It was a fucking packed madhouse. It was wild. So I'm excited to go run that back again next week.
That was the Weidman Gastelum card, right?
Yes.
I worked that one, and it was wicked fun. Like, that was a fun night.
It was an early card too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fought at 4:00. I was like, this is fucking crazy. This time I'm fighting at 2:30, so It's even better.
Oh, so you could get it out of the fucking.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
the pace a hound all fucking day.
Oh, man. My last one was at 10:45. So I'm like, fuck,
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
Wait, 10:45 what? PM?
PM, New York time.
Right.
Yeah, that's too much. That's all fucking day nervous, taking a dump.
Well,
Hey,
and here, I guess we
sitting
kind of
there all
answered
day.
this. Cesare Farah has a question. What's your personal favorite performance for before or after? So, I mean, I asked you, just kind of explain, but is that your favorite all time?
That's not my, no. You know, I really like the Cub Swanson fight. I thought that was I showed I know Cub Swanson's your boy, and that's fine.
I mean, who does? Nobody doesn't like Cub Swanson.
Right?
Shane.
Who the fuck doesn't?
Nobody doesn't like him.
You can't not like Cub Swanson. I just think
Right.
the way I fought in that fight was super technical and a little bit different than the way that everyone's used to seeing me fight. So I like that I showed off a different facet in that game. I didn't pressure him too hard. That I picked my shots. I didn't get overzealous. So I stayed real cool, calm, and collected in that fight. And I like that I showed something different than what you guys are used to seeing in most of my other fights.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're a tough customer. What real quick, it just popped in my mind because the Spanish. I mean, you don't. A lot of Puerto Rican from New York that I know have like an accent. You know, that's you have a New York accent, but they also got something else. Like they also speaking in Spanglish and shit like that. Do you speak Spanish or no?
Un poquito.
Like that.
Yeah, like.
No hablas español, ¿por qué no?
No,
my grandma was only spoke. Yeah, my grandma only spoke Spanish. My dad speaks fluent Spanish. My grandfather did. When she would babysit me, it would be like broken. Like she wouldn't even have broken English. I would have to speak like broken Spanglish to her just to get her to understand me, or like show her stuff, like draw pictures.
Tango hombre.
Yeah. I didn't even know that much back then.
You know what happens to me is that I can understand more than I can spit out. You know, like if someone's saying shit to me, I can pretty much just get the gist of all of that one. I just can't have a conversation, like an intelligent conversation with that one.
Yeah, only in Portuguese.
And it's hard. You know, all three of us know.
He only speaks Portuguese, and even then.
Who is that?
You.
You're talking about me? Oh yeah, but I'm also speaking.
Fala Português, mas
I'm speaking some Spanish. You know, I try to I can understand the Puerto Rican. I know the language. I know the rhythms. My building in New York was all Puerto Rican Dominicans. Okay, and they used to. I could tell them for years that I'm not, and they used to still just speak Spanish to me, porra. And I'm like, mira, I'm not.
Mira, no entiendo.
And you know what's funny? They talk shit. It's funny to see this. And tell me, I know you've seen this. You see them dark as fuck, like look like Michael Jordan, dark. Talking shit about black people, porra. Like as if they like a whole different thing. You know, they say, mira, and then they tell you this shit in front of you. They like, mira, the cocolo, they stab you in the back, papa. They stab you. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And then they say like, they scratch you. They be like, mira, when they fight, you can't trust them. Te arruñan. They scratch you, pata. You know how they say all these stuffs, and I go, mira, you black than the fucking black guys, porra.
Not getting into that one.
But it's true though. I mean, it's true.
Yeah, listen, and Renato, we have to respect. It's real late for Shane, and we can't keep him too late because he's got to get.
You don't want to talk about black people late at night, Karyn? No, that's the boogeyman's. The black people are gonna come out of you under you bad, porra.
Hey, but it is one of these things, Shane. And I, like I said, I don't want to keep you too long, but at the same time, I have so many questions for you because it's weird. Like we've never met before, and I haven't spoken to you, and it's strange because we've obviously both been in the same business for a long time. Yep. And so I actually have like a lot of questions for you because I want to know more about you, but I also do need to respect that you need to go to bed and stuff. But like,
when you gotta go to bed, my brother? Now, soon?
Well, he's on the East Coast, Renato.
Okay, well, Karyn.
Yeah. But so you mentioned Josh Emmett and the fight with Josh Emmett that you were saying was kind of fun and exciting, and you also mentioned Cubby, and those are both fighters that are so exciting. And I think right now featherweight is just insane. It's just insane, and it's so much fun. So there's a few things that we can unpack, and I don't really know where to go first, but I guess I'll go with this one first. Did you watch Volk versus Max? And what do you make of Volk in terms of the leader of the division that you're currently in?
Yeah, for sure. I don't miss any fight, especially a fight in my weight class, and especially a fight of that magnitude. That was a awesome fight, awesome performance from Volkanovski, and I think that cements him as top 2 or 3 pound for pound. Honestly, it has to, because that fight it wasn't close at all, and no one's ever done that to Max. That was very, very impressive for him to do a shutout like that, all 5 rounds, and it was clear-cut victory for Volkanovski. I mean, he after their second fight, he really like turned over a new leaf or something, where he just like kicked into fucking overdrive, and he's been looking great. So you got to give it respect where it's due, and he definitely deserves all the respect in the world, because the dude is top 2 or 3 pound for pound, honestly.
Yeah, it's crazy how he become that. Because I thought, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was biased because I wanted to see a trilogy. It happened anyway.
Yeah.
But I had Holloway winning the second fight.
So did I.
Okay.
I thought it was, I thought it was close, but I thought it was 3-2. Yeah.
But I had him winning that one, and so I figured this one was gonna be like just blood and guts, like just who won it more.
Close. Yeah.
And then I'm like, how the fuck is this happening, poor
guy? He was on fire. Cardio, his fucking combinations, his speed, his footwork. It was an impressive performance.
I don't know what it is about that guy. There's something about him where you don't want to believe he's one of the best in the world. Like for some reason, maybe he just don't have the look or something where I
think it's the mouth.
I was just gonna say, I think it's because he doesn't tell you he's the best. He just shows you.
Yeah, that's what I think. There has to be that.
Yeah, because somehow I'm just like, every time I act surprised, but I'm like, why should I be surprised now?
At this point, you can't be.
But every time I go, wow, I guess he's, and I'm like, why am I not thinking of him as like one of something? There's a disconnect in my brain.
I also think that's because his first couple fights in the UFC, they were obviously, he won all those fights. They were good performances. They were solid performances, but they weren't like, oh my God, that was crazy, blow you out of the water performances like Max has had in the past, some of the other featherweights. So I think he slowly built his way up to the top, and now that he's at the top, now he kicked into fucking overdrive. Now he's putting finishes on and these dominant performances.
I think something true. Maybe we bias. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but against people who look short.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. I think, honestly, Renato, I think it's that everybody loved Max so much. And I'm not discounting what you're saying, because I think there's just like lots of layers to the whole thing. I think in a lot of ways, it's kind of like how maybe like how I personally had a reluctance to John Jones at first, because he just kept beating my favorite people. And it wasn't that I was like, I couldn't appreciate how good he was. Like I was salty he was beating my favorite people. Yeah. So I think that Volk maybe didn't get love right away, because he was with style beating other people that people loved. And they're like, well, but I don't love you yet. I love this guy. And you just beat him and I don't love you yet. Right. And so Volk has, like you said, Shane, he doesn't talk too much, right? He lets the fighting do the talking. Yeah. So he hasn't talked up this whole storm to like win you over with like clever repartee or whatever. He just fights, beats your favorite dude, and then you're mad, or you become a fan. Like you can't help it. And in terms of his team, he's never going to be, or maybe I shouldn't say never, but we know when we talk about city kickboxing, it's always about Izzy. And so Alex seems to be the second champ from that gym. Yeah. And he seems to be okay with that. And so then like, it also gives you a reason to go, I maybe don't need to pay him or worry about him as much, but like every time he shows up, he just smokes your favorite guy and then leaves again. And you're like, wow, he's really effing good.
Yeah. 100%. Like him and Izzy are polar opposites when it comes to their personalities and their auras when it comes to like talking on the mic and stuff like that. Volkanovski's been talking a little bit more lately, and I think he's trying to bring that out a little bit more. Yeah. But for Izzy, it's just it's who he's been his entire since he got in his, exactly. Yes. So I see why Volkanovski's trying to do it, trying to hype the fights up, and you got to do what you got to do 100%. But as a fighter, I don't think he needs to do it. I think the dude's just that good at this point where he just like, let me just fuck this selling the pay-per-view shit. Let me just fucking beat me.
Nobody can beat this fucking guy. You know what?
And then, go ahead, Nato.
That fucking guy. I know you like this guy. You know that new kid that they got? That's Chow, good-looking kid.
Carlos Ulberg?
Yeah. That fucking guy look a little bit green or haw, you know? But in a few years, if he stick with it, that guy's going to be a big fucking problem for everybody.
Yeah, he hits
My
like a fucking
goodness.
truck. He said he used to be a Chippendales dancer or something like that, right?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
He's
cute.
like,
Carlo, he's a nice
Dana.
guy.
Yeah.
He's a nice
That's
guy. I
funny.
met him over fight, but not for nothing, Renato.
Yeah. I look back.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Our boy Shane Burgos here looks like Eugene Behrman a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Who the fuck is Eugene Behrman, caralho?
The coach of City Kickboxing. You kind of look like Eugene right now, but
no, that's just because of the fucking beard. Height now.
I'm kidding.
With
I'm kidding.
The long hair.
I know. I know.
Eugene Behrman. That's his name, Eugene Behrman?
Eugene Behrman. Yeah. But hey, listen.
That
So
like
we
he
were
should own a clothing outlet like Eugene Behrman.
It does sound like that.
he does.
Burlington Coat Factory. Eugene.
Burlington
This is
Coat
Eugene
Factory.
Behrman.
But we were talking fight stuff before. So listen, so you mentioned all these things, and we mentioned our boy Josh Emmett, who, it's for folks who don't know, you fought Calvin Kattar, and then you went to go help Josh Emmett train for the fight with Calvin Kattar. And then Josh, it was a hell of a fight. I was just working that one. It was so great. And Josh is one of those guys who, I know there's different stories coming out this week about Uriah being upset that Josh isn't getting as much respect or whatever. But my question to you is just, what did you make of a former opponent calling you to say, hey, bro, will you come to my camp to help me prepare for somebody else? Because I think it's so cool that you guys did that and you set your egos apart and whatever. Like, to me, I love it. But what was that like?
Yeah, like you said, that was the first thing. The first thing that hit me was like my ego, where it was like, oh man, but fuck, we fought. And I was like, you know what? Let me put that shit aside, because it is so fucking hard to get rematches in this sport. Like, it's unless they're for titles, it's really so hard to get rematches in this sport. So I was like, you know what? It's gonna be a good experience for me. I mean, he flew my brother out too, my younger brother who just went professional too. So He flew me out, flew my brother out, and him and his coaches treated us like we were fucking bros for years now. Me and my brother were saying, like, the first day we got there, he invited us to dinner at his house. We get there and he's doing a bunch of UFC film crew stuff, and so we're sitting down with his wife and his two friends, and I was like, this is weird how not weird this feels. I just got here and we're at his house eating dinner and like hanging out with he's not even in the room, and we're just hanging out, and it was just very comfortable. Then he came in and it was just chopping it up like everything was normal. I was like, this is weird how not weird this is. My brother's like, it feels like we've known him for so long. I'm like, yeah. And then the entire week was an awesome week of training. I definitely plan on going back out there again and working with him again.
Well, they say when you fight somebody, you know them in a way that nobody else ever gonna know them,
Yeah, for sure. All my opponents, I feel like that. Like, you automatically gain that respect for that person. You guys went through something. Win, lose, or draw, you guys went through something that was you can't explain it, can't put it into words unless you are a fighter yourself, and you wouldn't know.
When females do a privates with me, they feel like they went through something, for her, and it feel like we bonded. Like it's an experience they never gonna.
I can only imagine. Yeah.
I don't want to get political, Renato, but with some changes of the laws in America that you might need to be extra careful now, because
listen,
you may have more children. You may have a lot more children soon.
That's between them and my God. It's not has nothing. My God.
It's between you, the lady, the government now, but you might have a lot more children.
It's between all of them, but not me, caralho. There's too many chefs in the soup, in the kitchen. I don't want to get in. I let people be free. Freedom for her.
But no more private sessions, bro.
No, the private sessions is gonna keep going on. But freedom, we just did 4th of July, so they free to do whatever they want. But leave me out of it. I am free to fly the coop for her.
Do you have kids, Shane?
Yeah, I got 2 kids. Willem's up right now crying. She's up.
Because your uncle
1-year-old
heard Uncle Hanach's voice.
No. I mean, she probably did hear me, but no. I have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old upstairs.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Also, not sleeping.
The 5-year-old's knocked out. The 1-year-old was sleeping, and then she's heard me start talking. I guess now she's upstairs crying.
But I'm saying you don't sleep ever now. Because
my wife more so than me. It's fight camp, so my wife sucks it up for me. And
I like that.
Yeah, she puts in work.
Hey, well, we will let you go soon. Yeah. Here's a couple of questions. So Ray Torres is saying, Shane, I'm gonna put money on you. Are you gonna knock him out or sub though? So here's the thing.
I don't know. I can't give you an exact one, but just put money on the finish. Just Shane Burgos by finish.
Nice. I mean, and yeah, I will say, it's fun for us to have your fights, and I'm like, I don't know how you feel, because we get excited when we see, like, you have 4 fights of the night?
Yeah, four fight of the nights. My last one would have got fight of the night, but I had fucking Gaethje and Chandler right before me. So
that sucks. Like as soon as you're on that card, you're like, God damn it!
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
that's okay. So when you start watching that backstage and that shit start heating up, is there any part of you that want to see a good fight, or are you just like, stop this, gentlemen, stop?
Honestly, I'm fighting next, so I'm like, I need to know if I should start warming up. Like, I'm thinking in my head, this fight can end any second now. It going 15 minutes, I never thought that was going to happen. So I started warming up the fight before that fight. Then that fight keeps going, and I'm like, fuck, I got to keep my sweat going. How the fuck is this fight going on still? Like, this fight is bananas. 15 minutes just straight, and I'm like, I'm losing my sweat. I'm trying to watch the fight, but I'm trying to warm up still. I'm like, this is just, yeah. I was like, Shelby, please don't ever put me before them ever again, or after them ever again, please.
Right.
Yeah, that's like opening up for going after a comedian that just killed it or whatever.
Yeah, it's like me doing my first open mic after Kevin Hart. I was like,
no. Exactly.
Yeah, no.
Exactly. Well, listen, Renato, we do need to let him go soon because it is very late for him back there. But I just want to say there's a lot of people giving you a lot of good luck.
I appreciate it.
The fight with you versus Billy Q was insane, super underrated because Chandler versus Gaethje. But yeah, you and Billy Q threw down. I mean that's the thing here. Calvin Gregor, Burgos always brings it. I mean that's the whole thing. Is like honestly, I'm not just trying to blow smoke up of whatever, but like there are certain fighters that you know that you see and you go. I mean, yeah, they're ranked and yeah, they're this and they're that, but there's certain fighters that you just go, oh, okay. Here we go.
Yeah.
And like, you're one of those guys. And I am curious, like, how much does that factor in your head? Right. Because you are technical, you have the skill, but at the same time, the dog fights and the wars, are amazing. And you get drawn into them and you succeed a lot of the time. So what do you hope for when you go into a fight?
I hope for a first one punch finish every single time I go into. That's what I'm hoping for. But I know that's not probable in this kind of sport. I mean, it's possible, but it's just not highly probable. But it's just one of those things. Like I know that I'm very comfortable in firefights, and I'm very comfortable when we're in each other's space and just making it just. I'm very comfortable being uncomfortable. Let me put it that way. And I know that the more uncomfortable I am, if I feel like shit, then this guy feels like fucking death right now. And I know that he's going to break before I break. So that's why I like to put that pressure on in my fights. But I know that I don't really have to do that every time. I could pinpoint and just stay back on the outside and pick my shots. But then I get sucked into wanting to get that finish and wanting to break another person. Because it is a good feeling when you just break a man. Like when you just make him like, fuck, dude, no more. All right, too much. And he just quits. It's a great feeling.
If I had a nickel for every champ,
I was just gonna say.
I start to get numb to that one at this point, Karyn. So before you go, I have a little Bronx trivia that I cooked up for you guys here. Okay, but this is also just, don't worry, you don't have to know a whole lot of shit.
Oh, shit.
But you can also guess and stuff, okay?
I know,
like a poser. All right.
So I'm gonna give you 3 people, okay? And you gotta tell me which one was not born in the Bronx.
Okay.
Which one was not born in the Bronx? Okay. We have a Fat Joe. He just filmed him. Daddy Yankee.
I would be surprised if Regis Philbin was born in the Bronx. But
see, that to me seems like the red herring. So I'm gonna say the third guy.
Daddy Yankee? Is that what you're gonna say?
Daddy Yankee, because Fat Joe's gotta be from the Bronx.
Yeah, Fat Joe's from the Bronx.
Okay, so Karyn Bryant was height. His Daddy Yankee was actually born in San Juan. He just filmed him, Papa. He's from the Bronx.
Where was he born?
I don't know, somewhere in the fucking Bronx.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, Jamaica Ave.
That's crazy.
Luis Guzman, Ralph Lauren of Ralph Lauren Polo fame, Al Pacino.
I don't. Who's the first one?
Luis Guzman.
Luis Guzman, the actor. He's in like Carlito's Way and stuff like that. He's like the dark-haired guy.
Mira, you never seen Carlino?
Mira, Luis Guzman.
Yes,
he's always playing with them Pompey. He's kind of short.
Now, you seen Carlito's way or no?
I maybe parts of it.
You have to see. That's your homework, my brother.
All right.
You seen Boogie Nights?
I've seen parts of it too. I don't remember seeing the entire movie.
I mean,
Shane!
Once you see this guy, you're gonna know. But anyway, he's a fucking Latino.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know who he
Luis
is. I'm gonna look him up right now. You know who he is.
Luis Guzman, Ralph Lauren, or Al Pacino. Now,
all right, two.
Show him the picture.
I'm looking. Hold on, my phone is freaking out right now. I'm trying to get it right.
Who?
Ralph Lauren.
And hold on, show.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Luis Guzman. Okay, it's so funny because he's in. Okay. Wait, bro. There's no way you don't know this guy.
Yes, he is in Narcos. Yeah.
Oh, he is. What season?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
the first season. Yeah, he's
amazing.
I don't.
He's got the Bronx in his blood. There's no way Luis Guzman is not from the Bronx unless he's legit from Puerto Rico, straight up.
It's Ralph Lauren, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now,
Ralph Lauren.
You both hung. Okay. So Luis Guzman was the guy not from the Bronx. He's from Puerto Rico.
What did I just say? He's either from the Bronx or legit from Puerto Rico.
All right. Well, you should have picked Ralph Lauren. One, can you believe it? Ralph Lauren Polo, the Bronx, and also Al Pacino. Okay. One last one. Big Pun, Billy Joel, Michelle Rodriguez.
It has to be Billy Joel.
No, he's from New York, but you're right. I think he's from Long Island. I think but he is from New York.
But
I'm going to say Michelle Rodriguez.
And Big Pun is definitely from the Bronx. I know that.
I'm going to say Michelle Rodriguez.
So you hide Karyn Bryant, and Billy Joel is born in the Bronx. So you never know about people.
No. There you go.
That might also be because I have a girl crush on Michelle Rodriguez.
I know you have. There's a lot of.
I think Michelle Rodriguez and I would make a really cute couple, but you know.
Well, I want to see that once. I want to see a little preview of that one day. But yeah, there's a lot of chicken head in the Bronx that look even better than that one, though. They are dime a dozen out there. Oh, they look good. I miss that about California. There's no fucking Puerto Rican women out here. Oh, God.
You're right. They're all
I love me some Puerto Rican women.
They're
and
hot.
also Dominican.
Come back and visit, man.
I do.
There you go.
I come out there for her.
Rosario Dawson in the 25th hour is gotta be the hottest, like the hottest.
You know what the hottest version of her to me was? Her in He Got Game, where she played that character Lala or whatever. Oh, yeah. She dressed like ghetto kind of, in the fuck with the little bamboo earrings.
We're gonna have a Rosario Dawson appreciation show at some point, and a Michelle Rodriguez appreciation. Yeah. But on this note, Shane, we should let you go.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure there's any more things here, but there's a lot of people, like I said, that was just giving you a lot of love here. But we saw most of them. But yes, a lot of people really appreciating you, and and wishing you the best, and appreciate like your style and that you just always bring it. There's no boring Shane Burgos fights, which is pretty cool because you can't say that about everybody. And I know that maybe like sometimes your friends and family worry when you go in, but it's like, because you always are like, oh, Shane's fighting. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's going to be scrappy.
Yeah. It's going to be
I appreciate you guys having me on though. This is fun.
Yeah. You got a bright future, my brother. I mean, you better get ready for Puerto Rican, New York fame.
When's the parade?
Yeah.
Puerto Rican, it passed. It was maybe like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
that's always a good
when
time.
he's training. Then you because you could get too drunk. You could get in a fights.
I can't eat. I can't enjoy it. So I'm not going to that.
Yeah, and too much Puerto Rican food, caralho.
Yeah, it's the best.
So good,
all that stuff. Now, but pretty soon you're gonna be so famous that these guys are gonna start claiming you that they knew you before.
From Puerto Rico.
Yeah, they go. Mira, I used to have him. I used to train him in G Kwong.
He's mi primo.
I trained him in Van Cortlandt. I knew his father. We was locked up together.
You sound like Louis Booth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they're gonna claim you. They're gonna say they knew you when or whatever.
I'll let him. That's fine with me. I'll let him.
Yeah, before he went to Tiger Showman.
You sound just like him, bro.
Yeah, well, I spent a lot of time on those gentlemen.
Too much Carlitos.
Well, listen, we're going to let you go, but Renato and I are going to keep talking about Bronx movies. We'll talk some more about 276, but I'm glad to get your opinion on Volkanovski because, yeah, I think he's just one of those guys who people have to appreciate now. They just have to start paying attention to.
Mira, never mind Volkanovski. I prefer Shane Burgos.
Okay, well, Shane Burgos, bipolar. Like, listen. Mira, Shane está lutando la próxima semana.
He don't even know what you're saying, Papa.
Nope.
I'm saying he's fighting the semana que vem. But listen, I'm just confusing my Portuguese and my Spanish. But anyway, either way you add it up, no matter what your background is, Shane, it all adds up to badass.
Thank you. I'm gonna prove that. I'm gonna live up to that. July 16th. Make sure you guys tune in. Bring your popcorn. Kick back, relax, get a beer or something. Early card. I'll be on at 2:30. Don't fucking miss it.
I can't wait for her. I'm gonna drink a Presidente, Papa, and I'm out that Goya.
My honor.
I love it. Well, Shane, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Yeah, wishing you the best. And yeah, just thank you for all the entertainment you've already given us. Because yeah, you're a hell of a scrapper, and it's just always fun to watch you fight.
I'm just getting started. Thank you guys for having me.
You're welcome, my brother.
Cool.
Bye,
all right.
All right, guys.
See ya. Bye. I mean, Renato.
Hey, heavy duty.
Doctor Shane Burgos, what up?
I'm so glad that he is Puerto Rican because I was so disappointed when I made that fucking thing and then I realized
oh snap, he might not be Puerto Rican.
I swear to God, I'm gonna send you the thing where it's like wiki something, because it didn't have it on his Wikipedia.
Right.
But this is a shit that's like wiki answers or some shit like that.
Right.
And he said, what ethnicity is he? And
he is Shane Burgos.
African American. It didn't say no kind of mixed, nothing, just African.
Nothing.
I go, I guess he's I thought, okay, he's gotta be mixed. He's light skinned. He's like what you call that guy, Lionheart, light skinned heart.
Right. Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I wasn't sure what category to put him in, right? Like, do we put him in the light skin Hall of Fame? Do we put him in the Latino Hall of Fame? Like, not that we're trying to separate everybody on our guest list, but I like to figure out, and it's funny because it's one of those things that people used to ask me all the time, like, what are you? And everybody wants to label everybody. But I feel like with Shane, it's just more like people want to take ownership of that badassness.
Well, I went through the same stuff. They used to fight over me, the Puerto Rican and Dominican. They used to go through like a gang war over that one. They'd be like, he Puerto Rican, papi. And they'd be like, nah, mira, you look Dominican, papi. And I'm like, look, don't fight over me, please.
Don't fight over me. And that's what I used to get in New York too. And I would tell people, they'd be like, oh, no, you're black, you're this and that. And I go, I'm actually Caribbean, I'm half Jamaican. And they'll, no, you're Dominican. And I'm like, I'm actually not Dominican at all. But everybody in New York wanted me to be Dominican.
I think that's a good sign when a Hayes want to claim you, though.
I think that's true. I think that is true.
Positives, when they don't want to claim you, that's when you're in trouble.
When right. When they're like, this dude absolutely is not one of us.
Yeah, you. What is the most fucked up thing you've got before where you're like, how they got this? Like, I don't mean fucked up, but one that you like, I don't see it.
Well, I don't know, but here's the thing. I want to just acknowledge this. Ray Torres saying we both get the Latino pass. Obrigada, gracias, muchas gracias. I was getting my brakes fixed the other day, and the guys were Mexican, and estaba hablando en español con ellos, and it was great because they kind of looked at me and they were like, "Wait a minute, you speak Spanish?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it was funny because when I first moved to LA, somebody told me that black people and Mexican people like didn't get along, and I didn't know that because I moved here from New York, and in New York everybody got along. And somebody told me that Mexicans and black people didn't get along here in LA, and I was like, well, that's stupid.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's true.
In New York, more. Yeah.
Is that true that blacks and Mexicans don't get along in LA?
Well, I think it depends on where you go, but it's a stereotype. So of course, there's a reason why people is saying it. That don't mean that you black and Mexican don't get along. It just maybe like in the neighborhoods, you know, when you have it, like maybe you have a neighborhood that's dangerous, you're going to have the factions where people got to stick together for safety.
Right. If it's Oz, obviously you got to pick a team,
Yeah, but
right?
much like a prison, some of these bad neighborhood, you better stick with your own people to have a backup or you in trouble. So sometimes that kind of thing breed the kind of same thing that you have with a gang or whatever based on colors, but it's the color or the ethnicity.
Okay.
Huh? I think
because that just made me sad to hear that, because like I said, I've spoken Spanish for years. You know, I started learning it in high school. So to me, I always felt like, yeah, I want to be able to speak Spanish, and then I also can speak Portuguese. So yes, I mess up now that they merge, but like to me, I've always felt like I want to be a part of as many communities as I can be. And so when I heard that these two didn't apparently like each other, I was like, well, that sucks.
But it's kind of like, there's always exception to that. You know, I don't walk
Sure.
around worrying about that. It's just, you know, I don't think.
Well, Brewster's saying they don't mix that much, and maybe that's true. I don't know.
It's true, but God, when they do, they make some nice women's or whatever. You see the black skin women or whatever, not too shabby.
True. No. Oh, please. So yeah, Johnny's saying, yeah, it's like a neighborhood thing. So maybe it is a neighborhood thing.
Yeah, it's a neighborhood stuff. I mean, you have that with Italians and fucking Irish. You know what I mean? It's just,
right.
It's just, you know, you in there like sardine, and you know you're fighting for the same scraps. You know.
True. Okay, so listen, Renato, I wanted to show everybody, like we were. This is what we had on the plan on the show. So we've spoken to Shane.
But we already
can talk a little bit of 276. So Chidi, our bearded dragon lizard, he's got a choice for Rafael dos Anjos versus Rafael Vaziv. And we've tweaked the way we've done it because we've figured out now Chidi's tendencies, and we've tweaked the way we've done it. So we will get to Chidi's prediction. We can talk about the movie set in the Bronx, since we want to go right there now, since we're fresh off the interview. And we have the results from our nickname showdown, because we're basically down now to the finals. We have the last two names for our showcase. I was going to say showcase showdown, our nickname showdown. And so, Renato, you tell me what you want to. Where do you want to go next? What do you want to talk about next? What you want to talk about?
That was like some Broadway Danny Hose type shit. Like,
I meant to clap. I meant to do this when Shane was leaving. I meant to send him off.
Well, thanks a lot. You'll never have to be able to go back and fix that. You'll be regretting that till your day you fucking die. So I think well, let's save the Bronx so we can have a treat. Let's deal with this unpleasantness of the nicknames, okay? Because I have a feeling some feelings is gonna get hurt. I'd have to get the bad news out first.
Okay. Well, here we go. Okay, so let me wait. Oh wait, no, that was a scare. I'm just getting used to our sound. I used to, so for folks who don't know, we used to do this on Instagram, and then I would edit it, and I would reload the thing over on YouTube, and I would add sound effects, and now I don't edit it. So now I got to add our sound effects in real time. So I have an idea. I will queue up our results for the finals of the nickname thing. And we will do that. But in the meantime, okay, wait. In the meantime, we have a donation here from Tim. Well, Hanacha's proposal for Cheeky's Choice be explored further. I don't know if we'll do Cheeky's Choice, but we have Cheeky's Choice. And we've updated it. It's new, it's fresh, and all of that. But let's get to...
Choice. We're just going to put one thing of a hugala in between your butt cheeks. And then wherever I'm going to go... Are you going to put a blindfold? I'm going to go, carayo. And if I can check the ahugala without disturbing the cheeks, then I don't know. What do I win for?
Okay, here are the results from the nickname bracket this week. Here's our results. So, Sexyama got 39.4%. Thug Rose got 60.6%.
Wow.
The Axe Murderer got 37.6%. And Korean Zombie got 62.4%.
I am shocked from that one.
I am too, because Sexyama, as much as I love Thug Rose, Sexyama to me is one of the most perfect nicknames.
Now you know how I feel with a couple of the ones that you was so callously chucked to the side, like so much ahogala.
I agree with you. I hear what you're saying now.
Now
and
you
so
feel
I want to let everybody know. So here's
good.
where we are. Here's where we stand. Here's what's left. Okay. So
wow.
we have
the championship, huh?
Yes, this is it, Renato. This is it. We are down to the end.
It
is Thug Rose versus Korean Zombie.
I'll put it
for
to
the
you
best nickname ever.
I had Korean Zombie as a potential person in the finals. Not even like number 2 or 3. To see Thug Rose in the finals is shocking to me over some of the name.
Yeah. Agreed.
For me, I thought it was gonna be Chachi, and I know you think I'm crazy for this one, but for me, it would have been a showdown between Chachi Feely and Caramel Thunder. But Caramel Thunder got dusted off in the first fucking. He got hensed by I think Sakiyama in the first round.
So for me, if we're going back to all of these at the initial stage, so I've said how much I love Sexyama, but I also love hot chocolate.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah, I love hot chocolate. So to me, I think my favorites out of these are Sexyama, hot chocolate, and
Axe Murderer was another one I'm shocked to see go.
Shoot, but I'm not mad at Thug Rose or Zombie either, though. I'm not mad.
You know what I realized when I was watching the fights this past weekend?
What?
A name that we forgot and it just dawned on me because she was just Hichaya. Now it's a simple one, but the fact that Evil Eye, even though Evil is not like it's not that great a nickname, when you put it with her fucking last name, it kind of become one of those great nicknames, you know?
Right, but I agreed because it certainly fits her. And yeah, Jessica, thank you for everything. And she's
perfect. Yeah,
it is, and yes, and hey, speaking of retirements, pour a little out for her, pour a little out for Core Cowboy. You know, all of this.
Cowboy coming. I didn't see that coming.
Of course, with the Jessica thing, I kind of saw it coming only in that, as we know, we see her out at the High Rollers thing. Sometimes she has her OnlyFans. She has some things going on. And if we're honest, some of her last fights were tough, right? She had some injuries. She had some hard times getting to the fights. Some of them haven't gone her way. So as much as I'm always sad to be like, oh, somebody I like isn't fighting anymore. Like I'm okay with seeing them move on to
for sure. No,
their next phase. She's a cool chick.
Yeah. It's always just kind of sad. There's something. Whenever you see the end, even if it's a fucking NBA player, when you saw them come into the league, like for instance, I've never had, and it would be interesting to see, with LeBron James, I've been paying attention to that kid since he was, I think, 15, because I bought a Slam magazine that had an article about him before he blew up like national crazy, when he was still like a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
And the reason why I paid attention to this fucking guy was because in the article, it was talking about how Michael Jordan was making his comeback, okay, for the last time. When he was old as fuck and went to the Wizards?
Yes. So
he was having a summer camp to get himself in shape and see if he was going to do that one, okay?
Right.
So, hey, these NBA players came for like a certain amount of time to play with him every day and do this scrimmage, okay, in this facility that he had built for this.
Yes.
So it was the people he invited to this camp was all NBA players and one high school kid. And I said to myself, who
Steph Curry?
No. You know what I'm saying? No, he's fucking LeBron James. But I'm saying,
I get it. Yeah, right.
So I said to myself, why is Michael Jordan bringing in
it was right.
high school kid for what? For why? What does he see in this kid? And then from then on, I pay attention to this kid. So I literally seen him from high school, and then one day we're gonna see him Hichaya. I'm probably gonna be in my feelings because it's also it says something about you. It's like, Carayo, I seen this kid become.
How did I age?
Now he look like Cherry Pendergrass. He have kids that's gonna play in the NBA. He fucking got a great beard. I'm like, how? The part of it is like, hello darkness, my old friend. You know, like
100%.
Or what's that song? Fuck, the sad one, the one that's like Stevie Nicks is like, I'm getting older. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know, but I know what you mean, because that's how I feel like I said, even when Joanna retired, right? Because I was like, I worked for the UFC when Joanna got there. I worked during her whole prime.
Yeah.
I worked there while she left. And I was like, oh no. Like I saw her whole career, you know, and it is one of those things where, you feel.
Yeah, it's like an end of an era.
You get in your own feelings about seeing them.
And I don't know what that is about the passage of time in those landmarks. Because I remember, okay, I was the worst. I was never a good student. I was a Haskell, a Hapscallion. You know, I wasn't doing my homework. I fucking not show up at school, whatever. Play hooky, all that stuff. I hated school with a passion, like prison. That's what it felt, or like a halfway house. I fucking hated that place. But in graduation, I remember being on the stage or whatever, and I start crying. I don't fucking know why. I couldn't wait to get up. It wasn't like I was crying from happiness. There was something sad. There was, I don't know what it is, because I wasn't sad per se, but I also wasn't happy. It was like this weird.
Well, you were marking, because honestly, that's something like that is like, it's a real marker of youth versus adulthood, right? Of like things of that kind of stuff where you're saying goodbye to part of you is dying, a part of you have to say goodbye to.
Yeah, and you know you're gonna. It's something about
that's it.
Experience, Paul, huh? Anyway,
I think that's it. Well, people are talking, I was older than LeBron when he got into the league. Now he's older than me or whatever. But like,
I like that. That's true, Paul.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's true.
Look at LeBron. If I was walking with him, and you know, it's like this guy looked like he should be he feel like my dad or something. You know what I mean?
Well, your hairline is better than LeBron. So
you fucking could say that again, Paul.
But you're right in terms of the nicknames. So now we know, though, we are down to the final. It is going to be Thug Rose versus Korean Zombie. Okay, so we'll put this out. We'll have to see, you know, but it's true. I think so some of those nicknames, I was surprised they didn't go as far, but because we have personal feelings toward them, right? Like we were joking before with the axe murderer with Vanderlei, like,
what a name.
It was just so fitting of him. Yeah.
Hey, look, sometimes the bracket is the problem, because I feel like the axe murderer would have beat Thug Hose.
Right. Look, it could be about the bracketing. It could be whatever. Now, but anyway, regardless, we do know it's going to come down to the finals. And it's just going to be Thug Rose versus Zombie.
Korean Zombie is a hard one to beat, because everyone we know enjoys saying that. I mean, when you first heard it, you started laughing. You said, Korean Zombie.
Right.
I said, that's fucking incredible, Korean Zombie. Well, you like him before you see him fight.
And to the point, and maybe and part of this is just because Americans are don't love learning things about people from other cultures, but like almost nobody knows his real name, right? And so that's the other thing is like,
I don't know.
Everybody just calls him Korean Zombie.
Johnson, what the fuck is his name?
Johnson. But that's why I think that's why that fits more. But okay, so that is it. But yes, Dean, listen, we agree. There was a lot of the ones on the list were pretty great. I mean,
the Dean of Mean was just a little much. It was a lot to say. It didn't hold trippingly off the tongue. It was a lot. Okay, so now we know. Okay, so we've done that, and I will put up we'll put up the brackets, and next week we will have our finale. And by the way, I should say, as an advance notice,
one of the participants in our nickname showdown is actually our guest next week. Karate Hottie is booked for next week, Renato, and I'm a little worried because I feel like you're going to be extra smarmy with somebody as cute as Michelle.
You know,
but
this ain't
Michelle Watterson is booked for our guest next week. Listen. And so, ladies and gentlemen, be prepared, be ready, mark it in your calendars. She's adorable. She's a super cool girl. She's such a great girl. I'm really a fan. She's so cool. But I also know, Renato, that you're probably going to be outrageously lascivious.
She's attractive from me. You have no idea. I've had her. This ain't my first churrasca with this one. I've seen her at the fights. I've seen her. I had her on my old podcast. I mean, listen, she's already had the oil treatment and she came back. Look, she's come back for more.
The oil treatment or the royal treatment?
Oil.
I could use an oil treatment right now.
I'll give you a oil treatment, zucchini oil.
The hot oil treatment?
Oh, yeah, hot and that one too.
Anyway, I'm actually very excited because Michelle's such a cool girl, and I'm excited to have her on. She's a very
cool girl. That's exactly why I'm excited. She's so cool.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, so she's on next week. So this will be good. But for folks who don't know, this is yeah, you're right. He's going to be on his worst behavior next week. For sure.
Yeah. Well, listen, she's gonna. I'm just worried for her husband's sake.
Getting your robe ready.
I'm worried for her husband's sake because I never want to break up. You know, they look happy.
They're so cute. Yeah, they look adorable together. They're happy,
but
sweet little baby girl.
Listen, the heart want what it want, and if Michelle Watterson want your Uncle Hanach, who the fuck am I to? You know, to deny that one.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure Michelle will tell us what she wants. Okay.
I'm sure she told me.
Renato.
Yeah.
Let's get to a couple of other things because we did our nicknames and whatever, and we're going to get to our Bronx movies. But here's the thing. Let's just get to this. We'll just do it. We'll talk about it. We'll get it over with. I know a lot of people were mad. A lot of people were mad. They thought this fight was boring. If I'm honest with you, I was with some friends and different things. Like I wasn't as captivated by this fight as I have been other fights, I don't want to sound like a person who is a detractor from Israel Adesanya because I think he is awesome. It's just this fight to me seemed a little bit of like wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, this is a situation where I was never hyped on this one. You know, I mean, I was as little hyped on this one as I can be for an Adesanya fight. I knew it was going to be hard to get Cannonier out of there. And, you know, I don't know if you listen to Adesanya talk about it, but he said that he really respect John Crouch a lot. And he viewed this as like a battle of the coaches, you know. And he said that a lot of the stuffs that, I mean, you can tell Adesanya look at this like the way a chess player. I mean, that's always the most overused, the chess match. But he was talking about how he couldn't get his second package of stuffs going, you know, because the way that Crouch had him, he acting and stuff. He said that like the way they prepared him was like a perfect game plan. So he was like, what all the shit that I would normally do here to get him out of there, he could see it's not there. So he was like, listen, I'm not going to force that shit and get into a fucking slug match with someone that can put me to sleep just for the fucking guys booing in the crowd or whatever. He's like, that's not how it's going to be. So he's like, I beat him, you know, the way I beat him, but I still beat him, you know. And fair enough, you know. It's not on him. It's on, if anybody is on, if you want the belt, it's on the challenger. He got to go for broke, not the fucking champ. The champ don't got to go for broke. You understand? So as much as I feel like Adesanya didn't put himself into danger and take a lot of hits, neither did Cannonier. And if anybody should be trying to just go in there and fucking like in the fifth round, just get in there and swing for the fucking fence, you know, he could have gave that a shot.
Yeah, I agree that I think the onus is on the challenger to bring, quote unquote, bring the fight, right? Yeah, and that, yes, like I said, again, I'm not mad at Israel Adesanya. Like,
No.
I like the dude, and I completely respect it, so I'm not mad at him. I'm just saying that, yeah, in that fight, I guess I expected maybe more aggression or something from Jared, but it was weird because last week when I was working the Sarukian Gamrot fight, we had Jared on UFC Live, and he was talking about, like, we were like, dude, are you ready for the fight? What's your preparation? And he was talking about how he's like, well, I unfollowed him on Instagram or Twitter, and we were like, bro, like,
Not that.
what? Yeah, like, so Rashad was really freaked out, and he was like, wait a minute. So he was a little worried that maybe Jared had put Israel on too much of a pedestal, and there was too much of a, like, gosh, I get to fight for the title against this great guy person, you know? And so I don't know if that factored into it or whatever.
Yeah.
But maybe that was a little bit of a tip of the hat of the mindset. Because in nowhere do I remember Jared going, I'm gonna F this dude up. I'm gonna smack, like, other kinds of language that other people use. And meanwhile, also Jared's not that guy though, to just say these random things. You know what I mean? So in knowing who Jared is and having spoken with him with other fights and things like that, I do admit too, there was a little part of me that was like, I guess I would have liked to hear a little bit more of, it's my time. I'm gonna take what I've fought for, you know what I mean? A little bit more of that.
When you watch this guy do these things, and no matter how much you believe in yourself, you see him do things that you never seen yourself do. And you gotta say, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, think about all these different spots. Think about like the most unique guys that you can think of or are female. And then if you are, a certain level, you're still really good, but maybe you're not good to the level of, like the one of the most unique, greatest that you've ever seen in there, so it's tough probably to psych yourself to believe that shit, to believe in yourself. I'm sure his coaches probably believe in himself more than maybe even he did.
Agreed. And to your point, Wimbledon is going on right now, right? So Renato, I play a lot of tennis. It's my like fun little pastime, and I'm watching it, and I'm seeing people up against Rafael Nadal, or or they're up against Djokovic, right? So they're up against number 1 or 2, and maybe they even don't have a number next to their name, or maybe they are ranked, but whatever. But it's like, bro, you got here. This is amazing. But even they know walking out, there's no effing way I'm beating effing Nadal. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, Nadal would have to take the entire day off, play right-handed, wear the shoes on the wrong feet, and be blind in one eye to not give you a hell of
Yeah, I know. That's why I finally got a hound to watching this, because that whole thing left a bad taste in my mouth, the Oscars or whatever. So I just didn't even feel like fucking with it. But the other day, for whatever reason, I put on King Richard.
I have not watched it yet because I'm still a little salty. I'm still a little salty. I haven't watched it.
Okay, so that had worn off now. I feel like that happened 10 years ago now. With all the shit that's happened between that, the country and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck. And boy, now, it's not Citizen Kane or whatever. It's a sports movie that's kind of predictable. You know what I mean? It's like,
because the outcome, because the real players.
And it's a nice movie. It's not challenging or something like that, but it's a good, well-made fucking movie. Okay. What's so impressive is, first of all, where they came from, fucking just nothing.
Dude, I literally play on the courts where they play. It's in the hood.
Yeah. Well, there's stuffs about that. I don't want to ruin anything, but there's a lot that play into it a lot, and you could question his methods and stuff like that. But one thing he did is he made these fucking little girls believe in themselves to a point that is almost crazy. Like, no one could understand how they could believe in them, but they really believed in themselves. And maybe it was irrational or whatever, but when they walked out on that court, they believed they was gonna win, even when they was like 14 against the best in the world, you know. So it was incredible to see that, and I give that movie a thumbs up, which I didn't think it was gonna be that good. You know, I was like, nah, it's whatever. I got hopped up in that one, and the girls is so sweet, and you fall in love with the girls. You know, like it's nice.
Cool. Well, I do want to check it out. And like I said, I was going to watch it. And then I think I did have a little bit of like Will Smith backlash to where I was like, I'm not in the mood, but I love that. And it's funny because you say the thing about the belief, honestly, I'm not trying to get like psychoanalyze myself, but part of what I have a hard time in my life is like, I was instilled and I was taught to believe in myself a lot. And I do have a lot of self-belief. And so when you have a lot of self-belief and then like the things aren't happening for you in your life, you get a little bit of like cognitive dissonance, right? Because I actually do believe in myself a lot and I have a lot of faith, but like things aren't working out. And like, so you're sort of like, but wait, but how can this be true and this be true at the same time? Because like they don't seem
perspective. I think the problem, the heel disconnect, which is we all fall into this one, is things is working out and you can't even fucking appreciate it.
I try to be thankful of what I have, but yes, you're right. Because I'm so goal driven and I'm so much of an achiever that I 100% agree with you that I discount achievements I already have because I want the next ones.
I think to me, more than figuring out how to get the shit that you want, I think your biggest hurdle is going to be to enjoy your success.
I agree. I do agree with you. I think you're right.
There's shit you have done and are doing in your life. And even when you tell old stories about your fucking shitty past or whatever, where you're like, boy, I didn't have any fun. No one wanted to talk to me except for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the fucking Led Zeppelin, the fucking Hun DMC. I went with Living Color. I went on tour. This person I fucking used to hang out with. I mean, you have this lifey that maybe 5 different aspects of it. One person would be happy to have just one of that. But you look at it all as like, but I'm not, I don't know, Oprah Winfrey, whatever the fuck you think.
No, but you're right. No, but believe me, you're 100% right. You're spitting facts. Like I've had the conversation with my kid where I was like, the reason I have a hard time is because I feel like a failure and because I am a very goal-oriented achiever. And most things in my life that I've wanted to do, I've achieved. And so I have set these goals for myself that are out of like my control to grant the achievity. That's not a word. Right. Okay. But like for certain things to happen, they are actually out of my control. I need somebody else to say yes. And that's hard for me because anything I can control, I'm usually can crush, if I'm honest. I'm not trying to sound conceited, but like I believe in myself. I work hard. I'm smart. I try really hard. So most things I want to do, I can achieve. It's the hard part is the things that I want to achieve require somebody else saying yes. And that's hard.
Here's the thing. You want your Uncle Hanach. I'm in control whether you get your meat hooks on this body.
I would have you saying yes all night. Like I would have you say,
yo, please. You want you on your finger. Look at my chest. You want to run your fingers on my chest piece.
Look at Listen. If you had this much luscious milk chocolate, you wouldn't know what to do.
That's not milk chocolate. That's flan, porra. That's almond butter.
This is milk chocolate dusted with like Caribbean rum and a little bit of like.
Listen, maybe if you show me your cheeks, I'll consider.
The dude in the gym this morning, he didn't see him, but he heard him smacking together.
No, he thought that was the clapper. He thought there was a metronome or whatever.
The cheeks were clapping on and clapping off. I'm trying to clap them off a little bit more. Britt, I don't sound like flan.
No, you're looking like flan. Oh, I thought I didn't realize that was coming from you. I thought that was your daughter. That looked like ventriloquism, what you just did. You went like this.
I actually am pretty good with the ventriloquist. Okay. Yeah. It's I don't need the Egyptian cotton. You want the Jamaican rum. Listen, before this show, I will admit to putting on my perfume tonight, and I put on the Black Orchid from Ted Ford, like the Gucci Black Orchid, because that's what I feel like sometimes when I'm around you.
Gucci. You're putting yourself in the mindset. It's like you're like a method act. You're like, maybe if I believe in how pretty I am, a Black Orchid, then Hamash he's gonna call me after the show.
I am a Black Orchid.
You're a mixed orchid. Oh, you're a butterscotch orchid. So, oh boy.
Okay, let's move on. So, because we talked a little bit about Izzy. Okay, wait. Here, one other thing. We talked Izzy. One other thing. I am curious. No, because we did talk Izzy, but I am this one I'm curious about how people feel. Because we talked about Volk before with Shane, but Strickland Pereira. So Sean talked.
Let's hear people in the comments.
Mad.
All the guys.
Mad S before this fight.
Last week.
He mocked Israel for being knocked out. He did all kinds of stuff. Ooh. He talked so much stuff and then got clocked. So what's your take?
Well, listen, I can't blame him for losing to this guy because he's a fucking
he's a G.
Fucking beast. But having said that, the funny thing to me, the thing that all the other shit he said, whatever, but the thing that kind of like, I was like, can he possibly believe this? Where he was like, those glory kickboxers, what the fuck are they? I was like, if he really believed that, he's in big fucking trouble. Because the level of striking that's in glory, it's a different fucking level. Nikki Holtzkin and those fucking guys, you know? Yeah. I mean, those guys is not fucking hound. It's a very different level of striking.
Agreed. And what was interesting to me, you know, in if you saw after the fight, Sean put a video out where he was saying, like, even at the beginning, he was like, "Oh my God, this is going to be an easy fight. Yeah. I see everything." And it's just so interesting to me that somebody can be that confident against somebody like Alex Pereira, who is that talented and stuff. And partly, you know, I love the bravado that a lot of fighters have and like this, that, thing, the thing. And I don't know what Sean believed going into that fight versus what he said. You know, I really don't know.
It's probably a mixed bag.
Yeah, I feel like Sean should be very confident. He's beaten great people and he's been able to talk his way through fights.
That's the thing about, that's a double-edged sword that can get you in trouble in this sport. Is it take an irrational confidence to even, let's say, even make it to the UFC, let alone to win a championship or become a household name or whatever. The confidence that you have to kind of fake and believe, you know, when do you turn that off? You know, like what's making you great? And some of the people that we love, there's certain people who is berserkers and fucking just like have Pohara style or whatever, and then they get knocked out. But it's like, if they didn't do that, they wouldn't have won in the first place, you know? So him having that crazy confidence and stuff and being like, I'll fucking eat your liver in there, whatever, you know, like I'm just going to kill. He have to psych himself up to be that guy. How he's going to just turn it off? I mean, that's what he do to get there. So it brought him that far. But the problem is he was playing a chess player that is playing like a few moves ahead, you know. He's not just the way that a guy like Pereira strike in glory, because there's no other element and he's just striking. To beat the best of the best in that sport, you have to disguise stuffs and you have to work so hard to get openings that he's used to, you know, all these setups and all these ways of setting these traps and stuff like that. Whereas, you know, as good as Strickland is, he, you know, it's a different. He's like showing his cards. He's showing his cards a little more, you know. He was just like, here's what I'm gonna do. Eat this, you know, check it or leave it. And then Pereira's doing it, you know, he's putting stuffs in the computer. And he's, you know, it's like a magic trick.
No, you're right.
Here. You know what I mean? Oh, here's your card. What? He's sleight of hand, you know?
Well, agreed. And I agree. And that's the whole thing, right? Because if this had turned into a mixed martial arts fight, then maybe something would have been different, right? But it ended up just being a striking fight. Yeah. And at the end of the day, Pereira is going to be leap years ahead because that's what he focused on, you know, and that's not taking anything away from Sean, and he should have that confidence, and he's been doing great. But you know, it's an overused phrase, but there are levels to this game, and when you are when you're striking with somebody who only strikes, it's going to be tough.
Here's a perfect example. When we had in the jiu-jitsu aspect of this same kind of dynamic, you had what's his name, Gunny Nelson, you know. His jiu-jitsu is top notch, porra.
Great.
And he was fucking up everybody with not just his striking, but a lot of also his jiu-jitsu. And it looked very nice, technical. He was getting subs. Then he headed into Damian Maia.
Yeah.
And then it looked like he made him look like a blue belt. Now, most of the fucking people on earth he'd make look bad, but there's like a hand, maybe 2-3 guys.
Yep.
That just so much better at that aspect. It don't mean that Gunner's not an A. He's just not the A+. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's nothing to be ashamed of. There's certain, just like that in the jiu-jitsu, you have the guys that's striking. So you have to. I think that Strickland on a given day could beat Pereira if he did a smart game plan and didn't just try to, I'm better than, fuck these guys, I'm more of a man than you. Because that, you know, obviously it's not the smartest. Pereira was using a very, very smart approach. And you see, even Pereira, as much better striking than he never took him for granted. He respected him. He could have went in there and just started going hog wild. He respected him enough to, I'm going to set this up properly. Whereas, you know, you didn't have that on the other side. So you have to learn. You got to learn the hard way sometime.
Well, Sean's been on a tear, and, you know, it will set him back a little bit maybe. And obviously now, you know, people wanted to see the Pereira-Izzy matchup because Pereira had knocked Izzy out before. And, you know, the storyline is there and all of that.
Where everybody look, that's what I wanted, and that's what I'm getting, and I want to see that shit. I can't wait for it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so listen, I want to look at our comments because I feel like a lot of people have comments on this fight because it does look like people jumped in here on this one. But people saying, yeah, Maximilian Corabetti saying Pereira is the real deal, next level striking. Yeah, he was standing upright going in against a world-class striker, not moving and flat-footed. And people are talking about, yeah, Sean's stance.
I mean, but Sean, here's the thing. Here's the thing that probably fucked up Sean's head, okay?
Yeah.
You see how he did against Uriah Hall?
What? Yes, Sean and Uriah Hall, yes.
Now, Uriah is a high-level fucking striker.
Yes.
Who is very technical, very unpredictable, and have crazy power.
Right.
With that style that he used, Sean Strickland, which he tried to use here, it worked very well for him to where it almost looked like a lopsided fight, which nobody, I'm glad I didn't bet on that one.
It was a bad night for Uriah, but it was also a great night for Sean. Yeah.
I didn't see that being a possibility in the universe. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. I thought Uriah was going to mop up the floor with that, to be honest. So if you have the evidence, you probably think to yourself, Pereira can't be that fucking much better than Uriah Hall. You know what I mean? So I understand. It's like sometimes there's certain grapplers that, like for instance, Marcelo Garcia. Okay, if you ever see this guy in person, he looked like nothing. I mean, he looked like he just looked like a nice, friendly, small guy that wouldn't hurt a fly.
Yeah.
And then before you hold with him, everyone you know has just destroyed by this guy. All the best grapplers you know, like, have no chance with this guy. And then you're thinking to yourself, I'm asking everybody, well, what's so great that he do? Why he's so fucking great? I mean, guys I've hold with who is nasty. And I go, well, what was the big deal? And none of them could put their finger on it. They go, I don't know. He just fucks you up. Right. Okay. Then finally I got a chance to hold with him and I destroyed. No, I'm kidding. No, but we went and, you know, I'm not going to kiss and chow. Yeah. Let's just say it was a draw. But I can't even put as great as I'm the greatest of all time, okay? Even me, I couldn't put my finger on. It's like until you experience it for yourself, you can't believe it. You have to see it. You go, I heard it, but look, I don't see why I can't. I got 2 arms, 2 legs, you know, and then it happened to you and you go, well, God, are you?
I feel like that's how people are when they fight, like the Makhachevs and the Khabibs and the whatevers, where you go, I know about grappling. I've been against good grapplers. And then you go against them and you go, I'm a novice. I'm a baby. Yeah. Like, I can't even do anything.
You know what used to make me feel like that too, which is the funniest stuff? When GSP was on Chop, the jiu-jitsu that he did.
Sorry. I don't know. I was just imagining GSP on top for a second. Sorry, I got.
Oh God, are you? You would like to hear that accent, Karyn Bryant.
And he likes brown sugar, so my brain just drifted a little bit for a second. I'm sorry.
You would do just fine. He would show you that cheesy smile that he do when he's an.
I've actually heard I'm not dark enough for him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but if you get him drunk enough for him, he's gonna be like, "Oh God, are you?" You know how he does a cheesy smile after, like, Hoy Jones Jr., like after he says something, I am capable of beating him, and I can't wait for the fight. You know, like, he's like when people don't know how to smile for a picture, I think he's that kind of guy.
Right now,
where they just show teeth, they go. Like, they don't hear, like, I used to have a girlfriend like that. Every picture she go. And I'm like, it's not a dental exam for her. It's like she thinks you're checking to see if she got cavities or, like, if she got something in her fucking teeth. We're not.
Yeah, I was told a long time ago that I was not George's type because I was too light and too.
Never take that. Be careful.
This was not his type.
Be careful taking too much credence, Clearwater Revival, with some of those comments, because sometimes it's a girls that don't want you putting your paws on getting it, sniffing it. And then on the flip side, sometimes it's guys who don't want GSP putting his paws on you.
So they'll say that he wouldn't like you.
Because why they need to tell you that? Maybe he's gonna take a shot. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, you're right.
Whose business is that? I mean, what's it to you, buddy? Like, let me see first of all.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't believe none of that shit. People say, well, you wouldn't. We'll see about that for him. They said that about lesbians. When they can't get enough of you.
Well, they're my type.
Yeah, they're my type. You guys is.
That's my type. That's my type.
That's sweetie. My friend. I like it.
Okay. So Sean, the takeaway from that fight was Sean can maybe regroup from this. Obviously, I don't think he's going to take too many steps back.
He's a great.
And maybe
all the making fun. All the me taking a satisfaction of him getting his just desserts or whatever. I still think he's a Chop fighter. He took a step back from the championship.
Right.
He's in the fucking Chop 5, 6. I mean, totally. Come on. He's gonna be back there if he plays his cards right or whatever. He just took a fucking step back. Whatever, big deal. He's still relevant and he's a hell of a fucking fighter. He just he caught a bad one from a guy who's a better striker. Big fucking.
I agree. I agree with you. So one other one I want to mention, just because this one kind of gets me in my feelings a little bit, and also because it's a prior guest of ours, but I don't like people giving our boy Pedro Munoz grief.
Yeah.
Look at his eye is messed up. He's got a corneal scratch. And like, if you see the videos and the things, his eye's jacked up, bro. Like, nobody wanted to see this fight more than me and Renato. We wanted to see him fight Sugar Sean. This was going to be a great fight. Pedro now has the most fights in the bantamweight division with 18, I believe. He passes even Uriah Faber. Look at, nobody wants a fight to end like this, but the dude's eye was messed up. I had an eyelash in my eye earlier today and I wanted to cry. I can't imagine a fingers and a cornea scratched and all that.
Listen, I mean, you get a piece of sand in your fucking eye, one dust, whatever, lint, animal hair, whatever. It feels like, you know, there's a fish hook in there. But listen, trust me when I tell you, of all fighters, Pedro's not the kind of fucking guy who's afraid of a scrap.
Yep.
He's got a, first of all, he's born with, like we say, the Pojada lifestyle.
Yep. Oh, bicho vai pegar.
He got that father say style, okay? And so here's the thing here. Not only do he have that, but he also have a lot of pride. I think he's the kind of guy that you would have to, his nose could be falling off and he's not gonna say, he's gonna make you stop it, you know? And I think it's just because he answered honestly when they said, what's it feel like here? What's going on in there? And he said he's black. So I think people think that he should have said, oh, I can see it. I can see out of it or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, because they don't care about his health, but we're friends of his. So we don't want to see him going there fighting a very, very dangerous. And by the way, look, Sean O'Malley, he looked good. Okay. Yeah. I never seen as Pedro, it's not like he was getting wiped out or something, but I never seen Pedro be tentative before. And there was a big fucking reason because Sean O'Malley will set you up for traps, just like it. I mean, I'm not putting him the same level as Izzy, but he's that type of striker who is a thinking man. He's setting you up a couple moves ahead. And you get this false set, and Pedro's smart enough to know, like, yeah. And I'll tell you what, Pedro is a tough customer because the amount of those kicks that was getting checked versus how hard he was throwing those fucking kicks still after. Usually when someone gets a kick checked like twice, they stop throwing those motherfuckers. Totally. He kept throwing that shit like full power. And I could feel those things fucking breaking from here. I could feel my fucking legs breaking. I was like, boy, Pedro's a tough fucking dude. And so I get, you know what? The allure of calling someone a bullshit artist is very tempting. And like to post those memes of like, oh, see, he's not looking at or whatever. I get the temptation because I remember, I want to say it was Josh Koscheck or someone like that. Someone had a bullshit eye poke one time that was like not even, you could see clearly it wasn't even in his eye, and he milked it like a soccer player. And forgive me if it wasn't Koscheck, but it was one of these things where I was like, I was happy to show people, look, there's something about proving, you know, you think it's like conspiracy theory. You think you're the smartest cookie. You're like, look, I can see that he was faking, you know?
Right.
There's some stupid, cheap satisfaction we get from proving someone to be full of shit or a pussy or whatever it is, so that we can maybe be better than them, tougher than them, something like, oh, I wouldn't have did that. I don't know. It's like, it's cheap, whatever. It's a cheap thrill, you know? But I hated that shit myself.
Yeah. It's tough because nobody wants to see a fight end like that. And so obviously, this one, the Brandon is saying it was Koscheck versus Rumble that you're talking about with the eye poke.
Yeah. That was embarrassing.
I don't remember that.
He was
people are saying they're mad because he didn't attempt to use the 5 minutes, but listen, Fundamental Bear, the thing is, it was bad, right? And like you said, like, here's the thing. You in that moment, and I feel like, and I don't want to throw him under the bus.
Who?
But in the moment of Diego Sanchez versus Pereira, the wild man Pereira, right? And Pereira had done all this stuff, and there was like this eye poker headbutt thing or whatever. And basically, Diego was given the opportunity to like take the win. It was like a funky thing with the reffing and the timing and the thing like this, where it was like, wait, so you mean if I
in a certain amount of hounds?
Yeah, like if I say I can't see, I get the DQ win. Like it was a weird.
Yeah.
It was a weird thing. So again, like I said, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, and I know that like people start to wonder about that kind of stuff. And yeah, nobody's trying to say that Pedro's trying to find an easy way out or an easy win or whatever. But like you said, if the doctor asks you, can you see? And you're standing across from an incredibly dangerous person, and every fight matters and every win or loss matters, and you literally can't see. And this dude with how much height and reach advantage and who can style on people is across from you, and you can't effing see, and you're supposed to just be like, nah, bro, I'm good. Like, no, I'm not good.
That's worrisome, because if you're seeing black, that's different than it's fuzzy or it looks greasy or it's a little, or
I can't see, right, because Charles Oliveira and even Gamrot, like we were talking, guys with big, thick glasses. I think Oliveira used to say, I would see 2 or 3 people, I would punch in the middle. That's different than seeing nothing.
Yeah, that's very different. So the thing is, he didn't make the call like, I'm not fighting. He just was honest with the fucking half, and then the doctor. So did they even do this fucking chest?
I don't think so. I think they just saw that he was like, it's scratched and he can't see. Like,
yeah.
I feel bad because obviously we all wanted to see that fight. Obviously it's anticlimactic, but at the end of the day, like, it's legit. And I reposted and stuff because my girl Evie, like Glover had posted some stuff with Pedro. He's like, bro, like, for all of you people that think this guy is just like wussing out, like his eyes exploded. It's it's like, it's not good.
How about this? How about looking at a guy's track record and go, this is a guy who in every fight, he tried to get the knockout. This is a guy who never fucking quits and has given us some great fucking exciting fights. Almost, I would say every fight I've ever seen of this guy is like, oh, you want to see one of his fights because he's scrapped. So the one fucking time, now he's a fucking pussy and fuck him and he's a liar or whatever. It's like, let's, it's almost like I use basketball a lot because that's my other sport that I like to watch. It's like a guy who's flopping or something like that.
Right.
Certain people is known for flopping, but or complaining about every call. But then when you have a guy who never complains and then he complained about you got to take a little credence in that one.
Exactly.
So
I agree. He's not a complainer.
Oh God,
he's not, Yeah. People are saying, okay, just book the rematch.
You know what? I have a feeling they're never going to do that fight again ever in life.
I don't know. See here, thank you for Mahesh Pant saying Pedro did the right thing. I mean, I think he did the right thing by being honest, right? If you can't see, you can't see. You can't fight, you can't see. You can't see, you can't fight.
That's me, Paul.
Yeah.
I could do the thing we was talking about, the cheeks challenge with you. I would, even with a blindfold, be able to do that one, and you wouldn't even you wouldn't know what hit you, Paul.
Hey, well, now that you bring it up, you bring up the cheeks challenge. Okay. We may as well get to Chidi because Chidi. No, wait, let me just. Chidi, we can move on. Although here, well, let me.
And Jaquan,
before we do, is there any last takeaways you have from 276? Anything that we did or didn't talk about? I have some other B-roll queued up, but I don't know what else. Cowboy retired. He obviously said that was something he knew he should have done, months ago. So I think when he laid that down, nobody was surprised. We all kind of saw that coming. He said he was going to go on and be a movie star. Cowboy's doing a lot of great stuff. So
what's interesting? When I saw it in heel chime, I thought he got wiped the fuck out, But then when I saw the heat play of the finish, I didn't know he connected with that fucking kick.
Oh,
the kick that Jim Miller caught hit him right on the fucking neck. So it's like, that came close to. He could have hauled off into the sunset on a fucking highlight.
On a head kick. Yeah.
Two things. Miller caught it took a little bit of the mustard off of that one by like kind of catching it or whatever. And he's a tough customer. But I didn't realize how close that came to be. Not a takedown by Jim Miller, but a knockout, a kick, head kick, neck kick, knockout. I didn't even notice that in the fast. You know what I'm talking about when they showed?
Yes, I do.
I was like, oh shit, he caught him there, boy.
Yeah. No, it was entertaining and it was competitive, and I think it was one of those things where, yeah, like we said, we all kind of knew the time was coming for Cowboy, and he said as much.
Yeah, he did enough. He did enough on this one.
He did enough. He did great things. He's in movies. He's in different stuff. So obviously we're going to be hearing and seeing a lot from Cowboy. So yeah, I'm not too worried about him, but good for him. But yeah, you mentioned the cheeks and the choice. So for folks who don't know, my daughter has a bearded dragon lizard who has become our mascot.
Oh, I thought that's what you were talking about, your cheeks, and then I thought next to your cheeks is your bearded dragon.
Oh, it's a dragon, but it doesn't have much of a beard.
Well, that's thank God for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of a. Anyway, I'm not going to.
I hope it don't have.
But anyway,
it's
not.
Okay.
Anyway, definitely not a beard.
A dragon. Okay. Anyway.
No. But so we have a bearded dragon who is our mascot of our show. And so Chidi, his name is Chidi. So we initiated this thing.
And Jaquan?
What? No, he was named after Chidi from the show The Good Place. But Chidi and Kawani is also a badass. So Chidi, all the Chidis I know are good and badasses. So I'm not mad at them. So but for folks that don't know, so initially we've only done 3 of them. But initially we were like, hey, we'll have Chidi. We'll see who he picks for the winners for the fights. We then determined after 3, he went 0-3, but here's where I wanted to explain this. So he went 0-3 in terms of who he picked. All the people he picked ended up not being the winners. So now I was like, okay, maybe Chidi picks the people who won't win fights.
He's a loser.
And we also realized Chidi had a tendency to go to the right. When I would put the names, I would always put the, blue corner, red corner. I would always do, blue corner higher ranked on the left and the red corner right. And I was like, wait, maybe this is prejudicial. Maybe this is like making it whatever. So now that we've done 3 of them, we've realized Chidi picks the person who is not going to win. So I've randomized it a little bit, Renato. I want to give you the what we have for Chidi's choice for his physique versus RDA, because I did change some things up, but I just wanted to explain to everybody that we did have to mix it up because we did notice a little bit of a pattern with the first 3 times that we did it, right?
Yeah, he picks a loser. He would love Vinny Margarin.
Well, okay, so okay. Speaking of it, this part Tim is saying is that men who like it bald have a preference for their hair. I don't think that's it. I think it's just
now people got conditioned to that because I think it's almost like shaving the armpits. Like there's nothing particularly
the other way.
Okay,
where there's so much that it was.
I'm gonna tell you this. I feel like being of a certain age, I remember when all women had
full.
Well, I wouldn't say full, but they had vagina hair. Okay, like they had some form. Hopefully, it was manicured to the point where it's not like fucking coming down the sides of the inner thigh. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to see. My favorite was like the pie. Just manicure, like you trim long.
It's not like a Sephardic Jewish man on a Saturday Sabbath. Right?
I want payas coming off that one, and a fucking Abraham Lincoln hatch on there. I don't need none of that.
It's coming down the legs.
But having a manicure triangle, I'll still take that to this day. I enjoy it, and I think why. It have to do with when you was a kid. I used to hit Playboy and Hustler and Players magazine and all that kind of stuff. And the women always had that triangle, but it was nice. It wasn't out of fucking control, But I'll tell you one stuff then one day I started to notice here and there, you see a little bit. And then it was kind of a big deal. I remember it was almost like guys would talk about it. It's like, yeah, I went out, she was shaved. Like this. Now the whole stuff. And he was like, oh, caralho. You know what I mean? Like that was unique. That was like.
That was unusual. And it seemed a little like, probably like.
It was like, oh, you know, like, you know what I mean? Oh, she has a tattoo. You know, it's like, oh, God, she's wild. You know, like, you know what I mean? Something, it's like, oh, she knows what she's doing. Then after a while, that became in vogue to the point where that no longer became unique. It was just standard.
Everybody
Nobody had hair ever. And then now I feel like he's coming back a little bit now. Maybe like you can see a little bit of here and there. People is like having a little bit, but I never minded a lot. I will tell you this, especially in high school, the first experiences and stuff, when you was first, you know, do a kind of lingus to a woman or whatever.
You did that in high school?
Well, but of course, where else are you going to experiment? What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about?
I had no dates in high school, so that doesn't even register to me at all. Like I thought of doing that in high school. I had 0 dates. Like I don't know what that even. That doesn't register to me to do that in high school.
Well, I was a forward thinker. Okay, if it was up to me, I would have done it long before high school. But I did it on high school. I'm just saying, me. Put it to you this way. You see how I am now?
Yes.
I was the same person in a little man's body. When I was a little man, I used to look at women and be like, oh God, I can't fucking.
You're like kicking it to your 4th grade teacher.
I didn't necessarily kick it to that once. I'll tell you what, I used to flirt with like friends of my father, especially. And they would go like, oh, he's so cute. Oh, if he was only old enough, blah, blah, blah. And I used to always think to myself, like, please let me to enjoy, like I would.
Let me be big. Let me be big.
You know what I used to think to myself? Stupidly, like talk about irrational confidence. Right. I thought under the height circumstances and nobody's paying attention, I could cajole one of them into doing this. Now I look back, that was never going to happen. But I had fantasies of like, like Mrs. Hobinson, like one check me under the wing and then we don't talk.
Sure.
That's why when I hear these stories about like some fine ass Florida teacher and like some darky fucking 14-year-old, I'm like, where the fuck was this when I was like, I would have killed somebody to have that. I would have cut off my high fucking feet. Anyway.
That is hilarious.
With doing a cunnilingus back then though, in high school, is boy, oh boy, would you be like this every 5 seconds? You know what I mean? Like there would be just a scratch and you can't help, but there would be like a loose hair. And then even later, like the next day, you're like, like a popcorn hurl or whatever. You're like, you know what I mean? But now the benefit of these days is like, you don't even have to think about that. Guys over 40, tell me the truth. You know that one.
I know we didn't get as many. People say that like the soul patch. We didn't get as many comments on that. Dean D, back to a fight thing though, was saying, was it wrong for Julia to break Jess's arm? Jessie was tapping and she, did you think that was dirty? I mean, it was an arm bar. And listen, Julia Stoliarenko needed a win. And so I feel like maybe, I don't know if she held it too long. I didn't actually see that fight. So
maybe you ask your Uncle Henach about this. Okay. Because I've did that to people and stuff like that before. Okay. So here's the problem with that. If that was in a class or in training, she would be a piece of shit for doing that.
Okay.
When you're in a fucking fight, especially if you have coming off a loss or something like that, to take a chance that the referee saw the chop or whatever, or that is over without having the referee break you up, is to be nice, is to fuck with your career, to be nice to your opponent, And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she was saying that has happened to her before, and she was like, I'm not letting that happen again. So I had to took that one until, because you know what the rule is? Don't stop until the referee tell you to stop. Because what would have happened if now, and here's another dirty trick that some opponents will do. You're in an arm bar, you're about to chop, or you're chopping, the ref don't see it, the person stopped doing it to you, and then because the ref didn't see it, they let it go on and pretend it never happened. No,
we've seen it.
And so you can't trust that and put your career in your lifey. And God knows what's going on financially with that woman. What kind of bills, what kind of debt, what kind of children, what kind of sick relative, whatever the fuck she got going on. She can't play around with that just because she want to make sure Jess's arm not fucked up.
I agree. I agree with that one. It's on the ref. It's on them.
That's the thing. The half should have been on top of that, and that's what it is. Be mad at the half.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that one. It's not. Yeah, it's like
now
because we've seen it. We've seen didn't that happen? That happened to Joe Benavidez one time. Remember when he knocked out somebody and then they didn't see it, so he had to keep fighting, and he had to beat him twice in the same fight.
For the birds, fuck that.
Right.
But it's one thing if you see a guy out cold or whatever. But you can't. But. What the fuck I was saying? I do understand how Jess feel because I've never been chapped out like that before, but if I had and I was chapping and then the person did it, you're gonna get in your feelings about it. But once your adrenaline go down, you're gonna say to yourself, listen, the person was fucking in the heat of the moment or whatever.
Right.
Whatever,
This is not Husamar Polaris. It's there's levels to
all different ball game.
Yeah, it's totally different. But hey, I just realized that somehow I forget how we got distracted from the topic. But anyway, the point was that we were trying to get to Chidi's choice for this weekend's fight between Rafael dos Anjos and Rafael Fiziev. And like I said, we have redone the way that we shoot the Chidi segment now, because now there's new rules and we've explained it a little better and I've changed up how we do it. So let's just sit back and check out Chidi's choice. Hey everybody, here is Chidi, the bearded dragon. He is the mascot for Tuesday Night Festivities. We're redoing how we shoot his predictions now. Chidi's choice, we discovered Chidi picks who will lose the fight. Chidi also tends to go to the right, so we're going to randomize how we do this now. So here we go. We're going to have Dos Anjos versus Fiziev, okay? We're going to just ball these up so we don't know what's going to happen. Got to make it random. Here's our two piles of lettuce. Chidi likes arugula, so we're going to drop one there. We're going to drop this one there. And, okay, Chidi, let's go. He went to the left.
This is unprecedented.
Chidi has to take a bite for it to count. So he is really choosing. He has to bite the lettuce to make the pick. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Chidi has decided that the loser of the fight is going to be Rafael Fiziev. That means Rafael dos Anjos will get the win. Chidi has spoken. Chidi has chosen.
Look at him. Look, he's hubbing it in. He's like, look at this. Look at this fucking guy. Look at that.
Yeah, so Chidi has chosen Rafael dos Anjos will win the fight. Chidi chooses the people who will not win. Chidi has declared that Rafael Fiziev not getting the win.
I like how you tried to soften the blow by saying he chooses the people who will not win instead of he chooses the fucking loser. Listen, my money was on HDA anyway, kind of. But you know what? Watch it all go fucked up at this time anyway. It's like anytime you think you got it figured out, life like.
Listen, it's an incredibly tough fight. I'm excited to work this one, and it's Rafael versus Rafael. But I don't want to draw you into this. I would just maybe assume because he's your countryman, but I don't know Rafael Fiziev personally. I don't have anything against Rafael Fiziev. He's a heck of a fighter. I do know Rafael dos Anjos personally, and I do really like Rafael dos Anjos. So I fully admit to being biased in this one and wanting Rafael dos Anjos to win.
Me too.
But as you saw, we completely randomized what Chidi did. So
wow. I was glad that I didn't saw HDA come up on that one. Thank to my God.
You like HDA as well, huh?
I do like HDA, and not only is he high fucking level, but he's also one of those guys. He don't give you a boring fight. That guy tries to fucking kill you, you know, and he takes chances. So he's a fan favorite, you know. Even if you don't like, let's say, even if you hate his guts for whatever reason, you still want to see the guy fight. I mean, if you like fighting, so you know. Oh, my bad says that we've been on here for quite some time, people.
2 hours, yeah. There was just a couple of little things, not too much that we need to get to, but yes, you're right. Like, and unfortunately, the thing about RDA, I almost said RDA. Now you got me doing it. The thing about Rafael dos Anjos, that unfortunately, a lot of people who maybe were newer to the sport and they only kind of came along the sport along the Connor time, the whole red panty night, and a lot of that stuff, you know, that was supposed to be Rafael, and that was where a lot of people were introduced in, and they didn't see all the good work that he had done before then. And yeah, like Rafael's been in like great fights, and unfortunately, some of the ones that people may have seen where they're like, that one was boring, as you know, against Colby or whatever. If you look at, I'm not gonna lie, if you stick a straight up wrestler against Rafael dos Anjos, it's probably not going to be the most fun fight. But
yeah, I mean, Colby have that style too, you know, where he's gonna.
But Colby does that to everybody, right?
Yeah, so it wasn't really HDA's fault, you know, per se.
Anyway, I like dos Anjos. I think it's going to be a fun fight with Fiziev. Fiziev is great too. Listen, I'm not mad at these guys.
No, so. A lot of people singing his praise. I mean, I want to say it was DC who was going off about how great Fiziev is. He is.
Hey, listen, Joe D asking if there's a podcast version of this terrific show.
Okay.
See, this kind of thing confuses me a little bit because isn't this a podcast?
Do you just mean like one where you don't have to look at you don't want to get distracted by this one here?
I think they mean audio only, but why wouldn't you want?
Would it kill you to just watch this one? Oh God, wait.
I mean,
dude, you know what? What if the world blow up tomorrow? What if we die? What if, you know, anything could happen? Don't you want to say that you showed the people what kind of cheeks you was walking with?
No.
What do you got?
No, but I will say this. Okay, so here's the thing. A few things, Renato. A few things.
You want me to show them my Johnson? You want me to show?
No. Yeah. Never mind. My brain literally went to two different ways. My brain literally went to one way to completely diss you and one way to like make a joke about you. But anyway.
That's awful.
But anyway, but no. But I might start putting these up on audio for audio only if that's what you mean. Some
people think my Johnson is a turn on. Call them crazy, Paul. Remember liking.
We will maybe do that. So far, to answer your question, so far, this is only audio. I mean, only visual, but you could just listen to it. But I may start uploading them audio as well. Just.
It never fails.
I got a name better than nuclear. All I also got it.
Yeah, he leased those fucking stuffs. But it never failed though. It's without fail.
Well, Joe D is telling us that we're failing here because if we looked it up.
He's maybe too hide about that. But I will tell you this. If we had made a fucking audio only one, I can guarantee you that all of the comments on the Instagram or whatever would have been, why can't there ever be a video version of, I mean, you know.
Okay, so a couple of things. I will just address this, that I can put them up in audio, and I had actually initiated the page to start putting these up as audios. And this is episode 43, and I could go back and do a lot of the old ones, and I could do that. But then, Renato, you and I had talked about maybe changing the name of the show. And then there was part of me that was like, we thought about doing it, but we're 43 episodes into this, and maybe we're being silly by trying to rebrand it. And maybe this just needs to be the festivity show, and it is what it is. But I did mention Jarring Partners, and my kid was like, well, Jarring Partners is damn funny.
I know.
She liked it.
I love it. She loved it. Everybody loved it. But one question I have, okay, the logistic. I'm only using on this shit. I'm just use the fucking phone microphone. Okay. When I used to had a audio only podcast, I had a very nice mic or whatever. I don't know if this shit's gonna sound good audio only. It's probably gonna sound like shit. But
well, here I agree. Well, because Angela and I, we used to do it, but well, and we were doing. And I was doing what had happened was podcast with Angela Hill, and we were doing it on audio, on video here, and then I would also upload the audio. So we just stopped doing that show. Which is partly why I was like, oh, maybe I have more time now to upload this to audio. But I will say this, Renato, I paid extra for the magic mastering, they call it, at the place that I upload. And so it does, it provides a service to sort of sweeten the sound of the audio, because to your point, yes, it is maybe not going to sound as great.
I got a question. I noticed you have a fucking microphone there. How you set that to this? What's going on here?
What do you mean? I've always had this. So this is, my microphone is plugged into a little adapter that goes into my computer. So I have the Ethernet, the camera, and the microphone are all on this like little adapter thingy here. So this is what I bought.
Okay. Now I have a
So
question.
this thing puts together the like Ethernet, the Wi-Fi, and all the things together.
I can see that.
So yeah, so you plug it. So I plug in my camera and my audio into this thing. Then the Ethernet goes into the computer, and knock wood, it does pretty well.
Now I got a question, okay? Fair enough, that shit work with the adapter for you with your computer. I'm not gonna even ask you, Paul. Any people out there, do you know if I can do the same stuff just with my iPhone, Paul? Is there an adapter that's gonna do that same shit, but just instead of plugging into a computer, I just plug to my iPhone?
Well, I will say I don't have an iPhone, Renato, but I think this might work because it's like a universal C clamp adapter.
Oh God!
So the C input or whatever could possibly go into your phone. I don't know, because I'm an Android person in terms of phones. I don't know. I would imagine you could turn your phone into more of like a computer and Ethernet it in and maybe put those other things in. But I don't know for sure.
We'll see about that.
Well, we can look at some of these comments here. Yes. I can record. They're saying I can record you. Well, the thing is when we record, yes, you're all recorded onto my thing. So when I download these shows from the site that we use to broadcast these, I download the audio. Then I take that audio, I put it up to my other site, which also gets mastered by this other site, and then I do it. So it might actually sound okay, Renato.
Okay, but you think so? Okay, I don't know, but would it even make a fucking difference if I use my good microphone, Paul?
I don't know. So this one says when the iPhone switches to USB-C port at the bottom, you'll be able to do this. So don't they already have a C port? I thought they already had it.
I don't know.
This one said Jimmy Rivera saying iPhone adapter Firewire.
I remember the days where you didn't.
This one's saying check iPhone. There has to be. There's no way there isn't. Like, there's no way there's not. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Renato, I think it would sound okay if I look at worst case scenario. I can put one up and we could just ask people to let us know what they think about how it sounds. You know what I mean? If we put it up on audio. But my point is that I want us to grow. I want more things to come from this show in the future. I want us to be more accessible to people. I want to put us places people can find us. So yeah, I'm hoping to do that.
Show some more cheeks and show some more midriff and show some more.
Yeah, okay.
Do a hot dogs eating contest or something like that.
No, hey, speaking of hot dog eating contest was out at in Nathan's, New York, and you can hear this is perfect timing because I have alarms going on.
New York. I'll give you Hebrew National.
Okay. We were talking with our boy from the Bronx. These are some of the best movies from the Bronx. I'm curious if any of these are your favorite. You know, he mentioned the Bronx Tale. A Rumble in the Bronx.
I didn't even think about Humble in the Bronx for some reason. That movie's a piece of shit, by the way.
That's the one that Shane mentioned, though, was Rumble in the Bronx, because he remembered that one right away.
What's funny about that movie is that you can so clearly see that it's not filmed in the Bronx. It's like filming like Montreal or something. It's like, and they have like Indian dudes playing Puerto Ricans and stuff. It's just, you can't believe it. I don't know if you could call The Warriors a fucking Bronx movie. I mean, the Bronx is maybe making an appearance in that, but it's not. Yeah, I guess.
But aren't they trying to get home to the Bronx?
No, they were trying to get to Coney Island from the Bronx.
Coney Island. Oh.
I feel like the meeting happened in the Bronx, like at Van Cortlandt Park.
And the whole "Can you dig it?" and everything was in the Bronx.
What was that?
The whole "Can you dig it?" when they all first start off.
In Van Cortlandt Park, yeah, in the Bronx.
Obviously, okay, so Fort Apache, the Bronx, was obviously that's super old school, and that's one of these ones that I was like, okay, I know like not everybody's going to appreciate these things. To me, my favorite here, Bad Lieutenant, I freaking love. So we have Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, the remake. We have Carlito's Way. Then we have The Bronx Tale. Then we have American Gangster. Then we have Dead Presidents. Then we have Serpico. What do you call it? Not A League of Their Own. It was called For Love of the Game. Fort Apache, the Bronx. Yeah, For Love of the Game is actually Bronx based. Then there's Fort Apache, the Bronx, The Warriors, Bad Lieutenant, and Rumble in the Bronx.
How is Taking of Pelham 1 through 3 the Bronx?
Isn't that train run through the Bronx?
I mean, does it?
I don't know. For me, the Bronx ones, the mostly was, well, obviously a Bronx Tale or whatever, but like Bad Lieutenant is just a movie that I love. And I was like, to me thought of it as a New York movie, but apparently I guess it's actually in the Bronx. And I was like, okay, fine. But Bad Lieutenant is so demented and twisted and so messed up. I love that movie.
That might be Kai Chow's magnum opus or whatever. That was great. What a funky fucking, what a tormented character.
He's terrible.
Yeah.
The girls in the car and stuff, like, it's terrible.
Oh, boy, did that feel realistic. Now, I never got that treatment, like the sexual treatment, but the way that he behaved was so, I've seen those guys before. Oof. Yeah, the Bronx. Well, you also have, we didn't even think about this. This comes from our last show. Hedging Bull, the Bronx Bull.
Mm-hmm.
Jake LaMotta, the Bronx. You can definitely call that a Bronx movie.
Yeah.
There's also a couple good documentaries about the Bronx, but that's more obscure shit. I can't expect everybody to see those fucking ones.
Well, I was just trying to get the ones that feel like, like where you feel that New York feeling. So Dead Presidents is a great movie.
Dead Presidents is a good one, yeah. You also
see Mike B. saying Dead Presidents.
Yeah, you also have
Carlito's Way, because we always talk about Benny Blanco from the Bronx.
He's from the Bronx, but the movie don't take place there. I wish it did, but it don't. And I've had the books and every stuff.
They're saying Bronx Tale, The Warriors, and Dead Presidents, as Brandon is saying.
Yeah, I just don't think of The Warriors as a Bronx movie. I mean, especially
I actually kind of do, even though I think of it as all the boroughs. For some reason, I do register the Bronx on that one. But
I mean, if anything, is Coney Island, because they're like the Coney Island Warriors. We got to come back to. We got to get back to Coney Island.
Yeah, well, here they're D&D saying The Warriors is more of a cult movie. Coney Island to the Bronx is just one super long subway ride.
Yeah,
you'd have to cut through. Yeah.
More Bronx stuffs. I lost my train of thought before The Warrior.
But this one's saying The Warriors had them fighting for real at the theaters, though. I mean,
that was a big deal back then, the fucking Warrior. And you know what's funny? The gangs the gangs in those days in the 70s before
Right.
they look like the Warriors.
With the baseball crew and then this
No,
crew.
not that fucking bullshit. That never exists. But you know, I'm not saying any of the other games. I'm saying how the Warriors was dressed.
Yes.
Even though that seems so outdated and old school and stuff, the most dangerous gangs, the heel fucking gangs that you want to avoid and stuff, they look like the fucking Warriors.
Yeah.
Like, that's how they was dressing. If you saw them now, you would laugh about it. But back then, those guys would kill you. Guys who look like that, who dress with those jackets and all that
with
shit.
the vest and the jacket. Yeah, dude, I never mess with anybody in a vest.
Wow. It's especially at Chippendale. You would fuck with some Chippendale in there and some Thunder Down Under.
I could use some Thunder Down Under.
I bet you would. You could.
Yeah, I really could.
But yeah, the fucking Bronx. Oh, I was thinking about documentary. Now I'm trying to think. Anybody who know old hip hop movies, I want to say that not all of it, but a good. I think there's a good portion of Style Wars is in the Bronx, and also the first hip hop movie, which is Wild Style. I think that was there's a good amount in the Bronx too. But you ever see that?
Wild Style, it sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't remember all of it, everything about it.
It was a very low budget and it's considered the first hip hop movie, you know, and it had all the elements. It had bad acting and a bad
Was it like a dance gang fight thing?
No, it was more about a graffiti artist, and there was breakdancing and stuff. And it's hard to explain. He's Zorro. And forget it. I could go on about this for 3 hours, and I'm gonna bore you to tears. And there's gonna be 5 people who's gonna be like on the edge of their seat.
Okay.
But it looked like a student film almost.
Well, this one, Dean knows Wild Style.
Great. I mean, if you care about hip hop and the history of hip hop, it's like a holy grail kind of thing.
With DJ K-Slay? Yeah,
he was in there when he was young and skinny. Yeah.
Nice. People are repping it. People know it.
Yeah, you almost have to look at it like a documentary, but there's some bad acting in it. But there's so many fucking hip hop sample in there. The whole movie, you go, oh, that's what that's from. That's what that's from. That's what that like Nas Illmatic. The opening of Illmatic is a scene. Do you know that album Heal Well or no?
I mean, I not super not like every note, but I obviously know it. Yeah.
This train going by, and he's like, "Stop fucking around and be a man." And he's like, "There's nothing around here left for you. There's nothing around here." And he's like, "Oh yes, there is this." And it goes. Anyway, that's all from a scene where he's confront his brother after he come back from the army. Anyway, and it's bad acting. I mean, there's terrible acting, but it was not actors. It was just heel street people. Fab Five Freddy was in it when he was unknown. You know what I mean? He was just known underground, you know? And it was all these heel people and art stars and people from like the, you know, just the scene, the underground scene, you know, of the time at downtown New York. And then, you know, it was the time when they was really fascinated with hip hop, and they would have post punk with hip hop and art, and you know, what's his name, Basquiat, and you know how
Basquiat,
all that shit was mixing back in those days, you know, and very interesting stuff. I love that shit.
That is very cool. Well, listen, you know, Hanath, we've been on for a little bit. Is there anything you want to get to before we wrap it up? We can start wrapping up. I can see if there's any questions here from people, but we covered all the things. I think we covered everything we were gonna cover tonight.
Before I go, I have a Hanach recommendation that comes from what we just talking about. Okay. If you love the Warriors and you understand this is a Hollywood version of that scene, okay. If you want to see what that movie was trying to reference, what gangs that really existed at that time, there's a documentary. They used to have it on Netflix. It probably is gone now, but you can find this one. Maybe you're gonna have to pay $2.99, something like that. It's called Hubble Kings. You know, like Barney Hubble? Rubble
Kings. That's what Rubble. You said Hubble, like the telescope.
That's what
Rubble. Rubble, right? Barney Rubble Kings.
I'm not BBLE. It's Hubble. What do you mean? Am I BBLE?
Are you?
I'm not anything. I'm not in this fucking movie.
No, it's spelled RUBBLE.
Am I going fucking crazy now? Or are you playing with me? Are you playing stupid? Anyway. It's called
Rubble Kings.
Hubble Kings.
Rubble Kings.
Match specifically about the gangs of that time in the Bronx. If you love the movie The Warrior, you're gonna see what was really going on at that time, and it's fascinating. And you will thank me later. You will be very happy. Just remember that movie. You're gonna love that one. It's gonna be very interesting for people who kind of don't know that time period of New York and all that shit.
Rubble Kings.
You know what this remind me of? You know the movie Goonies? The Goonie? Yeah. Do you remember Data, who was the smartest one of all of the ones? Mm-hmm. And he know what he's talking about. He was built this fucking contraption.
Yeah.
And then he's trying to say that he did a booty trap or whatever. And they go, booby trap. And he said, that's what I said, booby trap, booty trap. And these other kids, the Caucasian kids, is make fun of him, but he's the one who created that one. So who's the hype one now? Data or these fucking what's his name?
Right.
Chunk.
I'm right. Hey, no spoilers, but I finished Stranger Things the other day.
Okay, so I watched the first of the second one of the 2-part or whatever.
So season four came out with 6 hi Karyn, 6 shows or something like that, and then it came out with a part 2 of like 2 sort of movie length episodes, right?
Yes, saw the first of those 2. It got late. Like I want to say, I started that one too late.
You got late.
Well, that's a given, but that was between the before and after that one. That show is an aphrodisiac. So anyway,
aphrodisiac. So she was black then.
Oh God, that he remind me of George Jefferson. He used to make jokes like that. He told Willis one time. He's like, it ain't no honky-disiac or whatever, Anyway, so listen, the fuck was I talking about now?
Stranger Things, the season finale, the last 2 episodes, movie length episodes.
Anyway,
no spoilers.
Fucking one too late. It was great, and I was like, I'm getting a little tired, so I'm gonna save that one. And then I was like, no, fuck that, I can't wait.
But it's 2.5 hours long.
I started watching. I didn't know that, and I started watching that shit. And about 10, 15 minutes in it, I was going like, you know what I mean? And I was like, fuck. And I tried. I was trying to and I said, this is not worth it. And I was having awkward dreams and stuff.
Because you want to enjoy, you want to be present for it.
I was like, it deserves better than this, So I was like, I'm gonna cut this off, and I'm gonna watch when I have a real nice time just to sit here, have some popcorn and candies and stuff.
Okay.
And
well, maybe you could do it later tonight because the kiddo and I watched. I think we watched either partly Saturday and then Sunday or something. Anyway, we finished. We're caught up. Like we're again. I'm not, like I said, no spoilers.
It's good, huh?
It's fantastic. And there's some things that happen where we're like, I don't want that to be the case for that character. Like what? But I love that character.
Well, don't tell me that. I don't know that anything's gonna happen. Don't say that.
No, I'm saying so. Here's the thing. And the thing about the great thing about this show is even if something happens to a character, you can go, well, maybe something will change in the future. I don't know. I'm just saying we were very invested in it. We enjoyed it very much. There are characters that we love. There are things that happen that we were quite upset about, but overall, very enjoyable.
This is too much for me. I don't want to hear. I don't even want to hear.
Very enjoyable.
I can imagine. I mean, I like the first fucking part of it, so it was great. I like that show.
Okay.
You can tell they spend quite a bit money. Not that. Quite a bit more money. Like you can see the budget go up, you know, with these new
seasons.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say nothing, but I'll say something that involve a chopper, a helicopter.
Yeah.
A certain shot and a certain way.
Right.
I was like, this ain't like on a TV show budget. I mean, that's like the heel stuffs. That's not
for sure.
That's not NCIS or whatever, you know.
It's not NCIS. It's not a blue screen or a green screen. Yeah. Well, Tim, you were saying with a donation that they saw your cameo in Game of Thrones recently.
Yeah.
Referring to Johnson as the Serpent of the North.
Apparently. Yeah, they hired me. I get typecast because they hired me for my Johnson. They didn't even care if I could act or not. I didn't even have a fucking speaking part. They just want to show the serpentine. I
don't even know what to say to that. Like, I just don't even.
Maybe say nothing. You know, just enjoy that one.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, Renato, we can start to wrap it up. Ray Torres was appreciating my cartwheel. I did some cartwheels. You know, today after my workout, I was doing some cartwheels and I put it up on my Instagram. I want to be one of those people who can do cartwheels for the rest of their life, Renato. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, it's like a stupid thing that maybe you could do when you were a kid and you were like, do you have any of those things where you're just like, I never want to stop being able to do this thing? Like, my kid still asks me, she's like, can you still do a split? And I still can do a split real close to almost all the way. Like, I can if I start, but I can. And so she challenged me. I'm like, no, I can still do it. But so like a cartwheel, same thing. I always want to be able to do this. Like, I want to be one of those people who's like 100 years old and be like on the news at the local station and look at KB 100 years old still doing cartwheels. Like, that's who I want to be. Is there one of those things?
I have the same stuff. I used to be able to suck my own Johnson. Sorry, that's too much. That's too graphic. I used to be able to fillet myself. Now my lower back. But one day I'm gonna get back to that kind of shape.
Not really where I was going.
Yeah, that was where I was going. That's why I went, and that's why I'm going to the.
Apparently you went.
Listen, you have to be self-sufficient. You gotta self-love, porra.
Oh, I know.
One of the most important.
I feel like I need a needle scratch. Like, I don't even know how to.
Well, just let it to soak in, porra.
Let it marinate.
Yeah, marinate that one. Somebody said they want Wi-Fi to go out.
What?
Somebody said they want my Wi-Fi to go out. Where's the Wi-Fi problems when you need it? Hey, you know, that's my God is control Wi-Fi, not man.
You're right, Brandon. I talked about doing the splits and making a clap in one episode. So
yeah, like you're tantalizing all these people, but you don't want to put your cheeks where your mouth or my mouth is or their mouth.
I'm definitely not putting my cheeks anywhere near where your mouth is.
Put cheeks where our eyes is.
No. Hey, Renato.
Listen, one day your cheeks is gonna be old and dusty. And no one's gonna want those one anymore. Why not?
I should let them be free.
Living, let them to enjoy.
You are correct. I don't disagree with you that I should maybe celebrate a little more while I can. You are correct.
I'm gonna be in a retirement home one day.
You're correct.
You're gonna have like a Asian nurse, a male nurse, and you're gonna want him, or a Jamaican male nurse, and you're gonna want him to make love to you, and he's gonna be I'll pass. And then you're going to look back and go, you know what? Fuck. All that fucking time I spent bullshitting around. Oh, wow. I'll wait till the next life. And then in the next life, you're going to do the same fucking stuff again.
Oh, well. Hey, listen, Renato. This is episode 43 of the show. I feel like, every week we maybe get some people who've never seen this show before. They should know they can go to festivities.com to catch all our episodes. I don't know. I just wanted to let people know here where else they can find us, Renato, because they have right here. Where are you? This is where they can find the show.
This is where
festivities.com, YouTube,
one place out of
Twitch/Renato. This is where you can find me. Instagram, KB Heat, Twitter, and YouTube. I'm at Karyn Bryant.
If you're not showing cheeks, why should they bother?
This is where you find Renato Laranja. Renato_Laranja. It's pretty simple. Woo! Renato, what? Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
So again, episode 43, we've had a who's who of guests on. Next week, we're having Karate Hottie on. Michelle Watterson is already booked for next week.
Can you imagine how hard she's working out and like dieting for me? Like she's trying to watch all that stuff.
No, I think she's dieting and working out because she has a fight coming up.
Oh, wow. Half of one, 5 dozen of the other one. She want to have sex with me is what I do. Yeah, I do fear that next week, like if I could, I feel like I might want to invite like someone from human resources or some kind of like a buffer, like a Bruce buffer, a buffer to I feel like you might get overly lascivious with Michelle. I think you're gonna get overly jealous because Michelle is gonna be all over me.
She's so cute.
She's very cute. She's very cute. She's cute in real life more even.
She's adorable. I mean, who doesn't like Michelle? Like, there's nothing not to like. She's adorable. She's funny. Nice sense of humor. Good kid. Great fighter. Like, what's not to like?
Because I used to think she was cute. I always liked her. Thought she was cute. But it wasn't until I met her in person that she bumped up to top. She beat out everybody in the UFC. Like I didn't used to have her on the top of the heap. Then I met her and I was like, oh God, how some people don't translate. She translates just fine on TV and all that bullshit. But certain people in real life is even way better. So if you like her now and then you see that one and you're like, oh God, I get it for her. I get it.
Agreed. I will say that she's very similar. Another person like that is Amanda Ribas, who same thing. Who I was told about Amanda Ribas, and I was told by her manager, and they were like, "You're gonna love her," and I was like, "No, I get it. I hear about that all the time." And then Amanda Ribas bounced in, and I was like, "Could I love this girl more?" Like, I can't. I don't know if I can. Listen, you're adorable.
Something about Ribas does it for me, Pohacho. Yeah, I like that one. And it's funny because she don't look like a model or something like that. But yet there's something where you just go like, I like that. I don't know what's going on.
Sweet, bubbly personality. And honestly, I will say the same thing about Mackenzie Dern, same thing. A real fun, sweet personality where you just go, they're cute already. Like Michelle, Mackenzie, Amanda, they're already cute. Yeah. And then you take that nice, fun, bouncy personality and they go just way better.
Mackenzie's a sweetheart. Yeah. She's always very cool since day one point.
Yeah. So it's like me too. Like you probably thought I was cool. And then you met me and you were like, oh my God, her personality is.
I was like, oh, that's her. I was like, she's thirsty. She can't keep herself. She can't contain herself. God. I'm like, have some decorum. Have some decency about you, God. There's more where this came. You're acting like
what? Is that it?
Anyway, listen. Never give up, Karyn Bryant. Never give up. But it's like Wild Habit, like Hennessy. Never give in. Never give up, boy. Wild Jerky or whatever. Hennessy. You'll be all right. You get some Hennessy in me, it could do wonders. You never know.
Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the Henny. Blame it on the
alcohol. Alcohol.
Alcohol. Okay, I actually kind of like that song, Jamie.
Okay, everybody.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. This was episode 43. You can find all of our episodes on YouTube/Karyn Bryant, on festivities.com. That's where you can find all of them. We've had a who's who of guests. We've had really excellent people tonight. If you joined us late, Shane Burgos was our guest. He is fighting next week at UFC Long Island, and Shane is just a legit badass. So if you missed that interview with him, you need to go back and check it out. But we just have a lot of fun here, and we appreciate all of you who come. We like having you guys here with us.
You're welcome.
Renato?
You're welcome.
Okay, folks. Thank you. We appreciate you being here, and I guess we'll just see you next time, right, Renato? Thanks for joining us, Renato.
Oh, you're welcome. A smattering of applause. Okay. I deserve better, but hey, we'll check what we can get this late. Okay, everybody, ciao, because my phone gonna die. And I'll see you later. No promo, I guess, because my phone is dying. Okay.
I'm gonna call you back in 5 minutes for the
okay.
promo.
You
plug it in. Plug it in. See you, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Done.
Bye.
My life.